All right, all right, all right. We are live. It's only 10 minutes late, but the mic is working, I hope. Welcome to a Spork of Ice and Fire, where we will be discussing tonight the biggest question: how would you fix Game of Thrones? It's really not a big question anymore. No one really cares except for us, but I want to talk about it because a lot of people just cover episode one, or I'm sorry, season 8, episode 1. Season 8, I believe, and I know Stig and Grant probably go with me, it can go back to the end of season 4, where they started making these choices that changed everything.
Also, George Martin has since then said that that's when they stopped listening to him or making use of him. It was
Yeah,
after season 4.
yeah. And
So he had nothing to do with 5, 6, 7, and 8, and he got all the shit.
right. And by 8, he was tweeting about different shows. He didn't care. He can care less by season 8. The true culprits, Dan and Dave, and we'll be
Dumb and
discussing
Dumber.
them too. Dumb and Dumber. They forgot about the show. Must have been just forgot about the show, just like Danny forgot about the Iron Fleet. So we're going to start it off kind of quick because we are late. So we have Mr. Grant Gregory, Stig Baratheon, Nick. He's most likely the good one of the McCabe's. Mason. Yes, thank you. Mason from Free Folk of the Fandom, who is not at 100 subs yet on YouTube. So could we please bring him up there? And Bad Takes Bojan is here too. We are live on YouTube and Rumble. And I would ask people on YouTube and Rumble, I guess, after the stream, please come back and just comment. Because the algorithm on YouTube, that's the biggest thing now. It's commenting. And I guess that's what I do wrong. I don't tell people to comment. But thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, guys. Let's jump into it. Let's just take it as a whole. All right. Most people want to just talk about season 8. Where would you, like I just said, I would start towards the end of season 4, where they made a couple big choices that I feel like could have changed everything. And then season 5 and on, it was just not good. Season 6 redeemed a little bit. What do you think, Grant?
I think what we need to change is the very first episode of season 5. So John, he stays dead. He doesn't come back to life. We don't get the whole McQueen. Oh, I'm going to scream at a dragon, and that whole prophecy. Let's just not fulfill it. Like, if he's not around, then there's no point to worry about it. He literally made no real difference in the end
at all. Okay,
yeah.
I'll give you that. I would think George is most likely going to revive him. But you are absolutely correct on saying he did nothing after that. And we'll get to that because that's a big part of it too. So
the Battle of the Bastards,
right,
that was all Sansa that did all that. Like he yelled at a dragon and he banged his auntie. That's it,
No, you're right.
Like yeah, I think that's where it went wrong. Or realistically, if you want to go, how could we have changed the story, let alone fix it? Maybe after the show, you can go over to my channel because I'm premiering my video. What would happen if Ned Stark wasn't a dickhead and didn't tell Cersei that he knew everything?
Yeah, and from what I've heard already of it, it's amazing, guys. So make sure you check it out. Hi, Sherry, how are you? And yeah, go ahead, please.
I have a question for all of you. Do you think, in order to cut the bill, that they got rid of Stannis and merged his character with Jon Snow? Because it looks to me that Jon Snow
Stannis was supposed to bang his auntie. That makes more sense. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, he's supposed to bang everyone, but he was the one who united the North in the books.
Yeah.
And then they gave that to Jon Snow. So I'm thinking a lot of what maybe happened with the battle against the Boltons is what Stannis is going to do.
Valid point, man. Valid point, because right now we know Stannis is sitting on that island in a lake, waiting for the troops of Freys and Manderleys and one other group coming out to attack them, and he's going to take Winterfell. So truthfully, yeah, they could have merged the two in the show because, once again, Jon did nothing. Yeah, I mean, you're so right, Grant. Jon did nothing.
And, if they merged Stannis and Jon, maybe they merged other ones too. Like Tyrion and Sir Barristan seem to have been merged as well.
Yeah, Barristan should never have been killed off in the show. That's one of my major points. I think that was dumb. You take out a character that's still alive in the books. Like, you guys shouldn't be making those decisions, really.
Do we know that he's going to survive though in the book? Like,
It doesn't matter. The whole idea of his defensive marine makes so much more sense in the books than him dying in an alley. Like, he should
alleyway
die
to
there.
3 people. I mean, he was outnumbered by 3 people. How's he supposed to take on 3 people? Not like he's one of the best swordsmen on the planet.
No.
Yeah. Christopher Lee had the most sword fights on screen ever. And he was a very competent fencer. And he said at the age of probably 80 that he could absolutely kill someone at the age of 80 with a sword. He can't do the footwork. He couldn't do the footwork, but he could do the handwork.
It's Christopher Lee. He could have killed someone with a stare at 80.
Yeah, like,
this is the same guy that told Peter Jackson that the sound that the guy makes when you stab him in the back is wrong. It's supposed to sound like this.
I love that where he turns to Sir McKellen and goes, "I should have been Gandalf." Pretty much. Like, that's one of the greatest moments. What do you guys down below think? Where do you think it would start with you?
So before we go any further, what do you mean by fix the series? Because like you could probably fix it as a show, probably maybe 6 or 7, maybe. Like 7 has a lot of problems,
right?
Like
and that's what I'm talking
where
about.
the snowball starts falling. But
I think
as an adaptation of A Song of Ice and Fire, you have to cut back a lot further.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm talking about.
From being an adaptation to just being a show based on.
Okay, so we all know that like midway through season 4, or part of season 4 and 5, they were done with the books on the path they went. And we're not talking about
Hey, Zach.
Hey, what's up, man? We're not talking about adding that's Andy. We're not talking about adding
Oh, sorry, Andy, not Zach yet. Never mind.
Yeah. We're not talking about adding like Lady Stoneheart or adding a Fagon, because they never were going to do that. And I understand for a show you sometimes have to streamline it. I'll give them that. But the idea, like the Hound fighting Brienne, like, and Arya was in the Vale, and that's when she jumps on the boat to Bravos and takes off. Like,
well, even if we ignore the books, right?
Yeah.
Let's just toss them aside.
Okay.
The show breaks its internal story as well after season 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not just that it screws up the book; it screws up itself.
Right. And before you jump in, Nick, where does it screw up itself? And then I love to hear what Nick has to say.
Well,
I agree with you.
All through season 5, because they do abandon the books.
Yes.
But they also abandon stuff that was established in the show, like
plot lines. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, well, I said this in the chat today though, but Benjen Stark, when he shows up, he tells Bran that him and his rangers were being turned by the White Walkers.
Right.
He only got half turned because the Children of the Forest stopped it, but he's still undead. And he says he can't cross the wall because there's magic in the foundation that wards off the undead.
The foundation.
Yeah. Keyword foundation, not the wall itself.
Right.
The stuff the wall is built on. But, well, in season 1, one of the rangers that got turned with him get through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then attacks the Lord Commander, and Jon gets a sword for saving him. That makes it a plot point.
Right.
Which means it's a plot hole.
Right.
When they change it.
And even when the dragon burns it down. Go ahead, Tina. I'm sorry.
No, I apologize. I was wondering if you could argue that the Night King didn't raise them until they were on the other side of the wall, or do you
they
make
were,
the assumption that the magic can't go across the wall?
Because Benjen said they were being raised with him.
Right. They were turned on the north side of the wall, not the north, not on the Westeros side, but on the other side, because he was being turned with them, and the Children of the Forest saved him and put the obsidian into his heart. In the book, we've questioned how it worked, though. We have had that question, like how was that able to happen when we believe the magic gets interfered with?
Right.
Yeah, and that opens the question that, let's say they can raise the dead from the other side of the wall, right? From how far? And then
right, could it be in Dorne?
Yeah, and can they then, if there's a battle at Winterfell, thousands die, can they then raise?
Well, could they raise anybody's? I was about to call you Stannis. Okay, I am going to call you Stannis, Stick. But they could raise, if that was the truth, they could raise anybody out of their grave that's in Westeros. That makes no sense. Yeah, that was one. That's huge.
For a soft magic system, there does need to be an element of consistency. For instance, especially with what has already been set within that world, for instance, White Walkers not being able to cross the wall because of the magic within the foundations. I would imagine that would be a hard limit for that soft magic. So no magic at all, especially of the White Walker kind, would be able to cross that at all. Right. So if people died on this side of the wall, they would not be able to resurrect anyone because of the barrier. But
that's the whole idea of the barrier, Nick.
Yeah. Which
so the only way to get around that is use magic that's not White Walker. And the only
exactly. So if you're dealing with someone like Melisandre, who is on this side of the wall, she could probably resurrect. But the wall, so far as I recall, was designed to keep the magic of the White Walkers out.
Right.
So maybe she could resurrect, someone. But again,
well, the whole dragon thing, because the dragon is essentially a White Walker magic. If they actually captured a dragon and forced it to fly and burn the wall down, that would make way more sense than turning it and using its ice breath to melt a wall.
Well, even after that, though, they crossed the foundation because the foundation was still there, which is supposed to ward them off.
Right.
It's a point. It's underneath. It's buried because where the entrance is 100 feet above where it initially was before.
And don't forget the entrance that goes under the foundation, where that weirwood door is. That you have to speak the old
old language.
The old watches oath.
Cree.
But you had to go under the wall. So like that is huge that the foundation is like the major point. And if you are going to have a dragon, Tina, you blow up the damn foundation, right?
Well, there's another biggie as well. When Bran was doing his like future, whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
The White Walkers, found out where he was because they realized he was watching them or something. And one of them touched him, and they were like, damn, now they know where we are.
Right.
Well, a few seasons earlier, they had laid an undead trap right outside the door. That was when Jojen died on the show.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so how can they not know about the cave if they laid a trap right outside the fucking entrance?
Oh, my God, that makes so much sense. Yeah, if they're all connected, the White Walkers, how wouldn't they know after they popped up and tried to stop them?
See, I think in this case, especially when they started deviating from the books, what they really needed to do, especially just in the writing room or something, was start creating a character Bible. And what they need to do is pretty much map out, or even just, do it in a list or something, just map out everything they do.
Right.
And essentially go from that point onwards. No.
Well, they kind of did. If you watch the Blu-rays, they have the bonus material. They ignored that too, because you have all the character stuff there and the bios and they even mention Victarion Greyjoy, whom they ignore on the show.
Well, let me ask you guys this: where do you think they? Okay, Dan and Dave, mostly Benioff. D.B. Weiss seemed to be the one that really understood the books a bit more. He's the one that brought the book to Weiss. Weiss saw a gold mine. They had their lunch with George and answered the question. And And in the first season seemed like normal guys. And then as they started winning Emmys and acclaim and fandom, they just, something happened after, and they're great at adapting a book. Like you were talking, Nick, they really did well adapting a book. They did make some mistakes, I think, too. But for the most part,
it's when they started going off on their own. That
there you go. Yeah.
Started to fall
Like
apart.
the idea you kill Marcella, Princess Marcella, and Dorne when
Starting
she
to rely
was
on things like shock value and melodrama. And,
well, that's another thing. The first couple seasons, you might have had, I don't know, Mason, maybe 1 or 2 sword fights. And by season like 6, you're having, you know, massive battles. And then by season 7 and 8, there's like a battle in every episode. It's all spectacular or whatever word.
Spectacles, yeah.
Thank you. What do you think,
Oh,
Mason?
You know what
So-
the warning sign was, though?
Yeah.
Early
I got you,
on,
buddy.
they said their goal was to show the Red Wedding on screen.
Yeah.
Now, they hadn't planned past that.
Right. You're absolutely right. They did say that. That was like the
Which
one
is-
thing they were looking forward to.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Which was the shock moment, and that's why
Yeah.
they kept doing shock moments, because you know you got reaction videos on YouTube, and that it hyped up the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when Joffrey died, he got replaced by Ramsay as being the psycho to do the shock moments.
Right.
And then when
Right.
he died, they tried to do it with Euron.
That's not Euron. That's Juron. That's
Yeah.
But
Jake.
that's the thing. Like, if they wanted to,
they
they
really needed
had.
to take their time. With
What-
that.
what
have
is
to-
that?
Maybe just insert a little like a little break or something, like a 2-year break where they say we don't have access to the books anymore. We need to sit
They
down,
did, didn't they?
we need to map out everything that's going to happen from now on.
Yeah.
We need to make absolutely sure that it's logical and within character. That et cetera, et cetera. We need to make sure that any fantastical elements, such as the magic and White Walkers, we need to make sure that that is absolutely consistent with what we've put beforehand.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, we have to make sure that everything is causal. So that's sort of a bit of a buzzword for me this year,
Right.
just with my own writing.
Right.
Just making sure that you have an event, and then everything after that isn't just a list of random scenes. They have to flow on from one another. Like this scene caused
Therefore
this,
slash
that.
but.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They really needed to at least maybe take a year or two, just between maybe I'd
Well,
say
they did
I
between
don't
7 and
so-
8. They did between
Yeah, I'd
7
actually
and 8.
even go so far as to say maybe they should have taken a break at, say, maybe the end of season 4, or maybe even the beginning of season 4,
Yeah.
and just made sure that, okay, this is the season that we're going to start deviating.
Yeah.
So we need to plan
And
everything.
sit down maybe with George a little bit
Yeah,
more.
sit down with George, pick his brain, utilize that source.
Yep.
Well,
Really
They
make use
didn't,
of that
they didn't
source.
care about the source. They believed their own farts. That was the problem. They're like, we're the ones that are responsible for this.
Yeah, and they needed to
George
check
has
their
had
own
stuff
egos.
adapted in the past, but nothing has been as big as this. It's because of us. We're the ones that did it. That was the
Well,
problem.
The other thing is they didn't have to, because people were blindly cheering it on simply because of the shock moments.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right. And I want to hear from Mason and Tina. Like, the Red Wedding was such a big moment in TV history. It really was. If you went back to that, readers of the book were like waiting for their friends who didn't read. Like, I wanted to watch their reaction, because it is a moment that Ned Stark was huge for most people, but the Red Wedding, you really thought Rob was going to go all the way. You know what I mean? And then that happens. Mason, what do you think about what we've been talking about?
Well, like, I think they messed up the Red Wedding, to be honest. Like, they changed Jane Westerling to some, like, princess from Volantis or something.
Yeah, she was
Let's say
from
Khaleesi.
Essos. Yeah.
That girl is actually in Taboo with what's his name? Tom Hardy.
Bane, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that show is actually really good.
Yeah, it
But
was.
anyway, I'm getting off topic.
We were
It's
robbed.
all right.
But, like, they changed so much with the Red Wedding, and that being a season finale, it kind of just like killed my interest in Game of Thrones for a while. Like
Right.
It was the second. It was the second last episode of the season.
Yeah. So I
It wasn't the
watched
finale. Yeah.
She is
season
Troy.
1 in like 3 days. And then I was like, all right, because I went and bought them on Blu-ray. I was like,
Right.
all right, I'll just wait a little bit. And I was like, nope, I can't wait. And went and bought season 2. So I watched season 1 and 2 in less than a week. And then I watched 3. And I was like, oh, I don't really feel very good at this.
It was because it was powerful. I mean, like Grant just said, that was the second to last episode, and then you still had one more episode in season 3, which was pretty cool too. I mean, finding out who got what seat, River Run for the phrase, Bolton's got winter. It was cool how they did that.
Yeah, it's in the book. It doesn't feel like it's the end because you can see the pieces still moving around. Like you can see that Jane Westerling is still pregnant with Rob's heir.
Right.
You have
right.
The other Stark children up in the north and Sansa and King's Landing, and you're like, okay,
Right.
so Rob's
and because
done,
the series,
but
because
but
the series whittles it down a little bit. Mason, you mean like you have only a certain amount of characters?
It just kind of felt like they wasted our time, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is it, we're done.
Yep.
Because of how they had split it up.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
if
I
you
don't
want
know.
to start fixing it, I think you'd probably have to start there as an adaptation to fix it.
I'm with you because also in the next episode, Tina, you get the Misa moment with Dany killing the slavers. One of the coolest moments she had, which for some reason they told us that was the begin, like that we're supposed to assume that's where she starts going mad when she kills slavers. Like what? Like we'll get to the Mad Queen thing that was just. I'm sorry to say the word retarded. It was
no, the bells. That was clearly established 3 seconds before it happened.
Yeah. And again, there were so many people that talk about that moment, and they don't know, and maybe they're just YouTubers who don't really read the books. But the bells they stole, like that's a John Connington thing that would make him go crazy, not Dany, where the Dothraki like love bells.
What else they screwed up every time?
Yeah.
The War of the Five Kings. Remember that they were saying they're calling it the War of the Five Kings, blah blah blah. Well, the Greyjoys weren't involved, so it was the War of Four Kings. Because they put they saved the Greyjoys for later after the war was done.
Right.
So they can't even count.
Right.
So technically, the War of the Five Kings. You also have Mance Rayder in the north.
Yep.
And then you lose a king, and then you gain Balon Greyjoy's calling himself king of the Iron Islands.
Right, but the dream Dany has that she's being attacked by like these little, like assaulted by 5 little like men, I think it is, or something to that effect, is that dream of the War of the Five Kings. You have Robb, Joffrey, Greyjoy, Mance Rayder.
No, it's not Mance. He's on the outside of it.
It's the two Baratheons.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, and the Baratheon brothers. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Because when Joffrey has his birthday, he has those midgets dress up as the 4 others.
Yep, you're so right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 2 brothers, which they handled that part. That scene, those scenes were fantastic when they met. The Shadow Baby, like they really could, and I want to hear from you, Tina. Like they really could adapt from the books.
The Shadow Baby scene didn't even make sense on the show.
Well, they didn't really explain it as much as they could, but the understanding that it did have like kind of Stannis's face to it.
No, it's not that bit. Why the hell did they have to go through a cave with a locked door in it if the target was on an open beach?
Right, in a tent. You're absolutely right about that. I always wondered about that one too.
Yeah, because they basically took the one where they take out the guy at Storm's End. That's where that scene happens. It's not
so they put those together.
Yeah, and it made no sense.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Like, there's a secret entrance.
Right, she had 2 shadow babies.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's like secret entrance through this cave. Blah blah blah. And like secret entrance to a open beach you can get to from any direction.
Yep. Yeah, that was dumb.
Most most people who haven't read the book, when I've talked to them about it, they think that you need the blood of a king to be able to do that, and there was no one who was actually the true heir. That's what most people seem to think.
Okay.
And then like what? And then they're like, well, why didn't you just kill Joffrey?
Wait a minute, what? No, he had to
Yeah,
have
see, when you
sex
start
with her.
asking
Oh,
those-
okay.
when
So
you
they
start
didn't
asking those
understand.
questions of, oh, why didn't you just, or
Most
why
people
didn't
don't-
he just? Yeah, you know you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem because they didn't explain how it worked. We
Right, they-
got it.
Yeah,
But these
we
people
understood.
who hadn't seen it, none of the people who haven't read the books, when I ask them about it, they all have weird different things. Like, oh, well, no, it's the blood because if you're the king, you have to use king's blood magic, and that's how you can make the ghost baby.
Well, they focused on King's blood so much, and even though she does have sex with him on the table, they don't really make you realize that's how it. You have a valid point there. I never thought of it in someone who hasn't read the books.
I'm going to bring up a writing tip, right? Which is it applies to all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Especially these days. You have to be able to explain to the reader or the viewer who, how, and why.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can do all of those, you've done a good job.
Right.
With Game of Thrones, with Rings of Power, Disney, Star Wars, they don't do the why. Oh, sorry, the how.
Right.
The how is the stuff they always screw up. Because, you have Rey using, force powers willy-nilly. Everyone goes,
yeah.
how?
The how or why. Why is she able to do that? Yeah, you're right. The how is huge, but
I think there's one important question.
They only focus on 2 out of 3.
Why do boats float and rocks sink? I think that's an important question we need to
that
figure
is
out.
huge. That is huge. Oh, God,
Yeah,
that show is terrible. Nick, relax.
And
Nick.
always trust the sea, said the lady who said she would be as treacherous as the sea.
Yeah. I almost made it to like the Valhalla of elves, and I'm just going to swim back. Oh, God, that was terrible. Tina, we've been blocking you out. Anything to add to what we're talking about? Because then I'm going to get more precise on things. So we're kind of general right now.
What I've been thinking about since the afternoon when I saw the topic for today is, okay, if Dan and Dave didn't like the mystical stuff, how could they have avoided it all and just done a Battle of the Kings story?
So let me.
And I can't come up with. Oh, sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. Finish that. I'm sorry.
I can't come up with. I mean, obviously, you could just say that finally, the wildlings are the threat from beyond the wall. But even if you make it the superstition, like the wall's always been there. We don't know how long it's been there. It's been there since recorded history. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
And it keeps the wildlings on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe, okay, fine, then because there's a lot of wonders of our world, right? We don't know how the pyramids were built. We just know they're there.
Right.
So,
ancient civilization like Atlantis. Go ahead.
Exactly. Absolutely. So I keep wondering, okay, could they have done a whole series without?
Right. Keep going.
Could they have done a whole series without the mystical stuff? And I think that if they were going to abandon it, X many seasons in, that they should have taken it out from the beginning.
Yeah, but did they abandon it, or did they lean into it and just not understand it? I feel like they later on, because George is very sprinkled with like his this high fantasy, if you want to call it. He sprinkles magic.
Right.
Magic is a very another thing that I couldn't stand. Like he made sure to let us know that Dany and the fire, the burial fire with Drago and the birth of her dragons was a one-time magical blood ritual.
Killed her.
And but yet when they have her walking forever, and then finally with the Khalasars, she kicks over a brazier and sets the place on fire, and then once again walks out like she is.
That was just for the naked shot.
She's fireproof. She's fireproof,
Well,
and it wasn't even a good
She's
naked
not just
shot.
that, because it's a smoke that kills you.
Right.
So
Right.
She should have suffocated, so she's immune to that as well.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand it personally. Like
George writes magic like sci-fi. That's what I've always liked about it. Like there's always a rationale and an element to it, where something you can look at it, even though it is mystical, it makes sense within the world.
Right. Well, there's like Nick was saying there's rules to that world, and you have
Yeah.
to stick by it, show or book. If you decide to go one way within the show, then you better stick with it. And they don't. Like the idea, and it just their writing is just so horrible. So let's, you know what? We're gonna start with season 5. Okay, and I'm gonna read a quick summary so everybody remembers. King's Landing. Marjorie marries the new King Tommen, Joffrey's younger brother. The Sparrows, a group of religious fanatics, impose their views upon the city, imprisoning Marjorie, her brother Loras, and Cersei for committing various sins. Jaime travels to Dorne, which in the books is with Bronn, right? But I don't think Bronn goes with him to this. To take
No,
back.
Jamie doesn't go to Dorne.
Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the show. The show does that. Jamie's completely somewhere else, but I forgot. Yeah, to bring back Marcella, which he does, and she dies from a kiss.
Been there.
Which,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
by
Can't stand
itself makes no sense because they're doing it to take revenge because the Red Viper died.
Right.
So they're killing his favorite nephew.
Right.
The Red Viper really liked that kid, so they're killing him after
Right.
they teleport to King's Landing.
Right. You're right on that. You also have in season 5, Baelish is trying to arrange a marriage with the Boltons for Sansa. Stannis unsuccessfully marches on Winterfell, which leads to his death. Still alive in the books. Allows Sansa the opportunity to escape with Theon at the Wall. As the movie, yeah.
You know what? Sansa and Theon escaping,
Yeah.
also freaking retarded.
Yes, it's
Because
dumb.
they've already shown us that the snow has melted, and we see a wide shot from Winterfell.
Right.
It's just like frozen grass. So when they leap from that wall, they should be dead.
Right. No, you're right about that. It was like everything melted so they could make the march. Let's not forget he sacrificed his daughter to do that, which hasn't happened yet in the books. And the season before, we also won't forget that Sansa, I believe in season 4, she's in the Vale with Baelish and tells them that she's Sansa Stark. You know, like tells them, yeah, I'm Sansa Stark, and they would allow her to marry that lunatic. Like even those people had respect for Jon Arryn and his relationship with the king and Eddard Stark. I don't think they would have even allowed her to go there because people have already heard about Ramsay's craziness. But
no,
then you have
they would have tried to get her to marry Sweet Robin.
right. Well, right. They wouldn't have let him take her. You're absolutely right on that. That's a better way of looking at it. Jon becomes the Lord Commander. Brings in the wildlings to fight the White Walkers and their army of corpses, and then Jon's killed as being a traitor because he was, well, they don't put it here, but because he wanted to march on Winterfell. Arya arrives in Bravos, where she finds Jaqen Agar, which that doesn't happen either, whom she had previously helped escape, and begins training with the Faceless Men, guided the assassins, and Tyrion becomes an advisor to Dany and becomes stupid. Let's not forget that. And Jorah saves Dany's life against a revolt of slavers who flee Marine on Drogon's back.
Which was also, holy crap, that thing in the arena. You could see the Harpy people standing behind Daenerys holding their spears, and none of them threw.
Right.
It was like minutes. They were just standing there.
Right.
I mean, kill the bitch.
Okay, you're getting this. Those are just pointy spears. They're not throwing ones. They have no aerodynamics.
And don't forget, they forgot about Dany. You know.
Yeah,
no, they forgot about the dragons, and they were in awe of seeing Drogon coming, and that froze them in place.
Those spears were just for old men that were like renowned knights. That can only be stabbed inside alleys. So
by 3
they had to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Unsullied all of a sudden couldn't fight anymore.
That's true.
They lost their fighting ability.
The greatest fighting unit.
Yeah.
One of the greatest. Yeah.
Basically, it was Antifa against the Unsullied, and Antifa won.
Yeah, that's
Which
awesome.
is weird because you would assume that the Antifa would be the dickless bunch.
Yeah.
I like that.
Basically, pussies against castrated people.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. But that's season 5.
It begs the question: who's the biggest cunt? Sorry.
So
Catherine Stark.
Ooh, burn.
did they switch out? Did they switch out Sansa for Jane? Jane, not Westerling, the other Jane.
Jane
for
Poole. Yeah.
Jane Poole. Thank you.
They merged it.
Just because they liked the actress, was that the story? I believe I heard.
Yeah,
So
because they felt like there wasn't enough of details in the Dance of Dragons for her to be in the Eyrie, because it's a slow burn. I mean, in the book, it's a slow burn.
Well, it's only half a story. That's the point.
Right. And the idea that you're right on that, and the idea that moving her to Winterfell gets her in the north, gets her bringing the people from the Eyrie. So now she has troops at some point she will, but people seeing her getting abused by this dude and not being able to do anything after the marriage. Yeah. So the Jane Poole thing, and don't forget how everybody reacted for Sansa having sex on her wedding night compared to poor Jane Poole doing it with dogs and Theon watching and stuff. Like, that poor girl went through hell in the book.
Exactly.
She probably should have killed herself.
There was the North Remembers that led nowhere.
Right.
They like started to do the Northern Conspiracy and then just like, oh, never mind. It was just some old lady.
Yeah.
It was more the North thoughts and prayers than the North remembers.
Right,
So you had thoughts and prayers, yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
You know what else they did? They spent about 30 minutes of season 3 setting up Lady Stoneheart.
They did, right? We got clues on that.
Yeah. Because Arya was talking to Beric about how resurrection works, basically, and she's like, can you bring back my dad? And she said, I don't think it works like that. He doesn't have a head.
Right.
But then it hints
he's already a pigeon.
He's a pigeon.
Yeah, but it hints that he could do it to the mom, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I forgot about that.
Dinner is coming, Brian. Thank you for being here. I want to say, because Katina is here. Boosh McFadden showed up. Alex showed up. We also had the lovely Sherry, if she's still around. I'm sorry we didn't say hello, but you are here too, and everybody else. She says, I did not like Sansa in the show. I'm still working on the books. Yeah, Sansa in the show, like, she was the actress did a good job at the beginning of the books, because Sansa's just a bitch. I want to go to King's Landing, Daddy. Like, she's a Veruca Salt, So she did a good job pissing everybody up. What up, buddy? But yeah, the idea that when now that's not season 5, season 6, I think, is the Battle of the Bastards, right? Yeah. So we'll get to that, but like her character arc is weird in the show.
Season 5 had one really good episode, even though it didn't necessarily make that much sense. It was the White Walker attack on the village.
Oh, Hardhome. Yeah, that was a great episode, actually. Even though John wasn't there in the books. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have they escape with the boats.
Yep.
And then they get off the boats north of the wall. Well, they could have just sailed for 3 more minutes and gotten south of the wall.
Yeah, because you have to run for your life.
That's not how geography works.
Yeah.
Oh man!
See, they couldn't go past there because of the foundations in the wall, because they were around the white wall. Yeah, that's the problem. So
well, it was the opposite of what do you call it? Wakanda, where they had the barrier goes under the water.
Right.
Yeah, it was just under the water only. Yeah.
You have Brian says Kat Stark, awful person. She plotted with Littlefinger to kill Ned Stark. Man, I miss Order of the Green Hand videos. Me too, brother. I don't know. They must have broke up. Yeah.
That would have been pretty damn awesome if it was true that Catelyn Stark actually plotted.
Oh, watch.
Go ahead. To kill Ned.
Yep. Order of the Green Hand brings that point up, because if you remember, and I think it was them that said this in the book 1, where they're talking about him going south. She keeps telling him he can't go, but then flips the script and is like, well, you can't not go. It's the king. And then don't forget the maester there came from River Run with her. So I felt if you watch their videos, Order of the Green Hand was one of the best channels. They haven't posted or uploaded in a long time, but their whole idea was like she was already setting this up so that Rob can take over and John would have no chance if Ned was out of the way and da 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 da. It's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened though.
No,
but they're very good at making things fit.
Yes.
Which is kind of conspiracy theory-ish, isn't it? You pick the stuff that fits and then pick the stuff that backs it up and then ignore other things.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fun to think about. That's what I love about theories. The random ones are so good if someone takes the time to really look at it. And Order the Green Hand is one of the best at that. If they ever come back, I would love to have them on the channel as guests. They're fantastic.
Yeah, something happened because they were in the middle of doing one of the reviews. I think it was like episode 4 or 5 of House of the Dragon.
And then it stopped, right?
Then they stopped recording, and then they've never done anything since. Nothing on their Twitter, nothing at all. Like it's just like
I don't know if they broke up or one of them. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know, but they were awesome, and he has one of the coolest voices ever. But yeah, there was so much in season 5 that they could have redeemed themselves in season 6. But they just, and a lot of people, including myself, definitely think season 6 was better than 5. But you have the resurrection of Jon in season 6, where he is treated like a god, and right after his resurrection, and then you never talk about it again.
Well, you know, the other thing is, you know, Brienne shows up and, you know, I killed Stannis, and everyone at the wall are just, okay, well, Stannis was the one who saved you just a few weeks ago. You'd be dead without him.
Right.
You know, so it's
stupid.
Not to mention you just killed the heir.
Well, you killed who should be king first, and second, if she is a knight, her justice, she shouldn't be able to take his head unless he is found guilty in front of whatever tribunal you want. But the idea that she takes his head while he is he throws away his sword and just lays there, you know, do as you must type thing. Like Stannis would not go out like that.
And you know,
and she wouldn't do that either. That's the thing. That's against her character as well to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not honorable. She's killing an injured, unarmed person.
Right. King.
Who actually happens to be her king.
And who is not her enemy. That's the thing. It's not like they had a feud or anything.
No, her feud was no, because she loved her brother,
Renly,
or his brother, Renly. You know,
I was going to say that. Yeah, she did it out of revenge, not out of any sense of honor or anything.
Yeah, she twisted it as honor, but
how was she aware of that though? Oh, she was there. That's right.
She was there and watched it happen.
She was there and watched. And all he's got to say is, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a what are you talking about? You
sound crazy. Have you taken your meds? You're a woman, you know. Are you on is it that time of the month? Is your moon cycle up? You know, something like that.
You saw me in a puff of smoke stab my brother.
Yeah.
It's not just that, though, because she keeps talking about, you know, she's always doing her duty.
Yep.
She's really focused on duty. Probably the one in the show that's the most focused on duty. Well, Tarth, where she's from, are the bannermen of Storm's End.
Yes.
Who's in charge of Storm's End? Oh, Stannis.
Right.
Her duty is to him, whether he killed Renly or not.
Yeah, this idea of it's all revenge, and that's all it is. And don't forget, she leaves the candle. She's supposed to be watching for the candle in the window, but from Sansa, and she never shows up. Like, she leaves, like, to get her revenge on a man who probably would have been still sitting at a tree the next day because he was done. The idea that she actually went there because, you know, the Boltons would have got to him before her, but left Sansa, who she vowed to save. Like, it just totally destroys the character of Brienne. And I personally think she never gets resurrected from that one.
It's actually a double duty breach.
Yeah.
And also duty. She can also track people. She's learned to track. She tracks Theon and Sansa. She teleports onto the battlefield.
Yep. teleports on. That's another thing. They get places so fast.
Teleportation is a real thing. It's shown. The Unsullied are keys at it. They're masters of it by season 8.
Oh yeah, dude, come on.
Well, also black
Dothraki,
armor.
they get regeneration. They get wiped out, and then 2 episodes later they're fully again. Like everyone picks up magical powers.
They do.
Yeah, black armor in the snow too. Really hard to spot.
Yeah, right. And don't forget, in season 6 we get Euron Greyjoy. So we get Euron back. And Cersei
like
blows up. Yeah, he's this. Yeah, not even a good one. He's like a
if they wanted to replace one psychopath with another, they had the blueprints for Euron.
Oh my
because
god!
he's the ultimate definition, and he's
Pedophile,
not
everything.
doing it out of some sort of sick perversion. He thinks everything that he's doing is for the right reasons.
And that it will make him a god.
Yeah, like he's searching for divinity with everything that he does, so nothing could ever persuade him. Like
money,
had the
women,
perfect thing.
nothing. Yeah.
But then, no, what do you want? No, I'm going to fuck the queen.
Yeah, that's his purpose in life.
No, I killed Jaime Lannister. I'm like, dude, you died on a rock.
Finger up the butt.
You couldn't even do what a falling brick could do.
Right? One falling brick. One.
You know what else they did? Wasn't it season 6 where they killed off the Dornish immediately? So the whole Dorne plot ended up with nothing.
Nothing.
It was like a big deal. Dorne is joining Daenerys, blah blah. Then Euron shows up, and the Dornish are gone, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank God they redeemed it with the Golden Company.
Well, let's not forget too. Oh, go ahead, Tina, please.
I think the only reason why Dorne was in the show at all after Marcella was just because David Benioff had the hots for the actress that plays Ilaria.
I wouldn't doubt it. Because
another thing,
the idea that the horror of a prince would now lead a country is the dumbest shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they said they kept they changed the Dorne stuff because they felt the show needed more feminism. Ugh. They said that in an interview. So they had a prostitute kill the ruler of Dorne, and every other nobleman in the country was fine with it.
Yep.
Well, not just that, even the guards that were there didn't react.
No.
Right. No, you're right. No one reacted. She killed a prince and then took over a country where the prince in the books has already other people that want to take over. You know, like the not the Black Woods.
They have a line of succession in Dorne as well.
Well, not just that. The list of enemies that Dorne has, like the leaders and everything Dorne has, the moment that there's a vacuum of power, they're coming straight in.
Yeah, right,
mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, I mean, they literally said that all through the show. That's how Westeros works. Dorne is part of Westeros.
Yeah, what they did to the Golden Company, again, another thing where they just got destroyed. I mean, granted, against a dragon, you're going to get destroyed, but the idea that the Golden Company, like what we've seen from sample chapters and stuff, they are a fighting machine. You know, like granted, that's the Fagon, part of the books, but damn, man. Like, I can't wait to see where that goes in the next book that we're definitely getting.
Well, the season 6 is also when they ditched Dario. He's not been seen since. They just left him.
Right. You're in charge of Marine. Take care, buddy.
Yeah. And you know why? Because I'm 99% sure of this. Euron is Dario in the books.
Yeah, a lot of people are sticking with that one, but you're one of the number ones to stick with it. I like the idea of it. I do like the idea of it.
It's been hinted at big time.
Oh, it definitely has. Definitely has.
It's kind of funny though. It's like, hey, you know this place that's tried to kill me every day that I've been trying to rule it? Yeah, you can have it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Here's your reward.
Take care. Yeah. Yeah, I totally came back and like dropped the bomb on you. But hey, we had sex a couple times, so you got that. You always can, remember that. Like the idea that him and and don't forget, is it season 6 or 7 we get the cure for grayscale? I think that's season 7, right?
7, I think.
Like the idea.
7, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, you need to cut it off. I mean,
no one
thousands of years, nobody thought of that.
Yeah.
Just cut off the
He
board.
applied ointment first.
Yeah.
The only
Just on
good-
the skin.
No one reads books at the Citadel.
Nobody. The one good episode in season 6 was The Door. The Door was, again, this is a George thing. The twist on why Hodor is Hodor. The idea that a time traveling Bran with his consciousness goes back and is able to affect young Willem, I think his name was, and turn him into Hodor while he's holding the door, hearing this. Like, it was
Here's the thing.
brilliant.
That's not a George thing. It's not going to happen like that.
Not anymore.
Because the children of the forest don't have a fucking door.
Well, that's true. That's true.
They don't have hinges or anything. There's no door in that cave.
No, but there will be a moment that he does have to hold a door. I just don't know what
he said. He said it was going to be like that. But here's the thing: there's Norse mythology. There is a Hodor. Who's a big dumb giant that won't harm anyone unless he's tricked and goaded into doing so.
No, the problem is he's a bit dyslexic. They were talking about how much he smells, and they're like, "Oh, that odor," and they're just stuck in his mind.
Yeah.
That hose odor. Yeah.
The North Remembers channel, they did something really interesting, similar to the whole Hodor thing. Is they had in their version of season 8, Gendry knows how to remake Valyrian steel. He knows everything except one final piece of information that his mentor said, "I'm not telling you this because it's like dangerous information to know, and people would like try to kill you, like the magical people or whatever. They don't want any more Valyrian steel." So Gendry and Arya asked Bran to go, like, "Hey, use your Weirwood network and go figure out what this last piece is." So he's like, "Okay, I have to go. This time I've got to go further back than I've ever done. I got to go back 300 years to old Valyria before it blew up so I can find out what that last element is." And he notices a princess alone outside of a weirwood tree. And so he's thinking, he calms down. He goes, "Okay, I'm thinking dragons. I'm thinking the forge. I'm thinking the steel." And he goes and enters this girl. I think her name sounded like Daenerys. I'm not sure who it is.
That's sexual assault. Oh, you mean sorry? That's not what you meant.
No. You just keep going. Talk through.
Enters her mind. So then all of a sudden, this girl who was just chilling next to the weirwood tree, all of a sudden sees dragons and fire exploding and steel and things, and all of a sudden it turns out to be that was Daenerys the Dreamer. So when Bran comes back, he's going, "I'm sorry, she didn't have the information I need," and I think I just caused the fall of Valyria.
Yeah. You know what? The only thing I'll say to that is the time he doesn't know his history well, because that happened. Danny the Dreamer was way before Rhaegar, but there's no weirwood trees in Valyria. Weirwoods were only in West. No, he needs to know this, okay? Because you've been flaunting his stuff lately, and I'm just gonna say,
just said I'd like some of the stories.
I'm a great YouTuber too.
When they killed Sandor in his version, I openly wept.
Okay, well, you're a woman. That happens.
There's this great YouTuber called Sporking News Podcast. He has some super cool videos on Song of Ice and Fire.
Thank you. If you go to Google and Google Sporking with the images tab, I come up. Not many Sporkings out there, baby. No, it's a good idea because Bran, I feel like it would have been cooler if he affected the Mad King or something. But that's another topic for another day. We'll get back to this. But I do like that, though. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Bro, that's a good one. Let's get back to the show, though. The idea also from season 5 to 6 is that we get a Night's King. And I don't know if we're ever going to get a Night's King unless someone is turned into the Night's King. Because the idea is the Night's King...
maybe someone who doesn't know anything or knows nothing.
Or knows nothing. Jon Snow. Boo, boo, boo.
Well, the Night King got his name because he married a female White Walker.
Right.
Took over the Night Fort. So they even have that in the bonus material.
Right.
So, and then they do that, he's the first White Walker on the show. Right. Which
and
makes
he's
no sense. He shouldn't even be called the Night King. He can't be called the Night King unless he did what the Night King did to earn the name.
Right. And the Night Fort, he was sacrificing children to the others. Like that's what that door most likely was for him to put children through.
Wasn't the show? Wasn't it some guy that the Children of the Forest turned into the Night King?
Yeah, and I don't know. We don't know who he is. We know nothing about that character. He looks nothing.
Guy.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, he's a proto Stark. That's why. No one knows. No one freaking knows who he was because, again, the who or why we don't get. You know, like they just want the spectacle of the obsidian going into a dude's chest and Benjen taking over Cold Hand's portion is the dumbest thing too. Like,
Did you guys notice that after the showrunners started saying, yeah, this is the Night King, right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden the characters in the show called him the Night King, even though they hadn't never seen him.
Right. Why would they ever come up with that name?
Yeah, the first time it's mentioned on the show is Sir Davos. He says, yeah, we need to do something to stop the Night King.
Oh, you're right. Wouldn't they have called him the White King? He's the
or
king
the
of
Winter
White
King.
Walkers.
The Winter
King, right?
Yeah.
You know, at the very least, the writers could have, at the very least, gone back and watched the previous seasons. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I think a whole lot of writing nowadays, especially on long-running seasons, like oh God, what was the season that I watched recently? Doesn't matter. Same thing. They really do. These writers, especially new writers, really, really need to go back and watch things from the start, take notes, do their damn homework.
I.e. She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They don't care.
But basically what happened, though, is all of a sudden all the characters know what the viewers know.
Right, everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to have contact with Davos. Everybody thinks of the Night King, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, and he hadn't even heard of him.
Right.
He was just there for, a while.
Yeah.
And then, we need to deal with the Night King. That's the main problem.
And we like Davos, the actor, so what do? We tag him with Jon.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
No, I think we're just asking too much of these writers. I mean, we're asking them to work for their job.
Right.
It's too much. It's such a sad life.
No,
the only thing is they didn't even have to do it on their own. They could have employed a writer's room to help out. At the very least, at least one person per character, and just to map out everything.
I disagree, Zax. I think he does. He just doesn't know how to get there anymore.
Well, if that Ragnarok theory is correct, then definitely knows. Because he said he knew in broad strokes, and that's what the theory is. It is broad strokes all over. I
think he threw a load of shit at them. The idea, the Mad Queen. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. But there's a couple like Bran being the king, Mad Queen. Like if George gets there, it's going to be in a way better way, and it'll be like an understandable way when you look back. Oh, okay, because. Let's take Dany, the Mad Queen. She just won. Bells are ringing. Everybody's like, we're going to give up. Nothing happens to her. She doesn't focus on the Red Keep. She loses her shit and starts burning innocent people. The one woman who always protected the weak decides to burn the innocent. It made no sense. If they just did the part where she burnt the Red Keep, I would have understood. Dumb idea, understood. She was just built up with rage, but the idea she destroys the whole city and just becomes Hitler all of a sudden, like one master race. If you disagree, I'll kill you. Like just dumb.
Hey, Scotty, I have a big one.
Yeah.
Well, a big theory, not anything else. But that theory I had where she's a fire white?
Yes.
And it happened through blood magic on that pyre?
Yep.
So when she walked into the pyre,
yeah, Dan.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. So she's basically dead. She's a fire white,
right?
What does Daenerys say all the time? By fire and blood.
Fire and blood, right?
Fire white and blood magic.
Yep.
Fire and blood.
Yep. And they're always focused on the last thing they were thinking about, and she wanted revenge.
That also explains why she can't have any more kids.
Yeah.
Well, right. Well,
and
again,
she almost never sleeps and almost never eats.
Yeah. The only problem in the book, she does see blood, and it is in we're led to believe she's having her first period since that, but we don't know in the books
Are
because it
people
kind of
who
leaves it
are,
off
remind
there.
me, are people who are resurrected, are they aware that they've been resurrected?
In the
Yes.
books, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fire side of it, yes.
Yeah,
The
surely
whites,
they
no.
would know. Or she would
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Well, it depends on how long you've been dead.
Mm.
Like Catelyn Stark knows she's raised. She remembers dying at the Red Wedding.
And she can
Right.
smell
Beric
herself. She was in the water
Targaryen.
for a week.
But see, they were given the kiss. With Dany's, it was like a kind of like a spontaneous blood magic
Yeah.
ritual because of Mary Mazdul. So chanting and screaming and stuff, probably casting some type of spell or praying a prayer that
was like
she
an
didn't realize
ongoing-
would
ongoing ritual.
right, that would turn Dany into this.
Yeah.
So she may not know if she is a fire white.
So there is a theory that Victarion, he has his hand that like gets
Burnt.
infected,
Yep.
and then I'm forgetting the Red Priest's name
Yeah,
that was
it
on the
starts
boat.
with an M, I think, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's something like that.
Yeah.
Something with an M. But
Yeah.
he gets captured by Euron and turns his hand into like a smoking hand, and it's like
Burnt.
10 times
Yeah.
stronger than he was
Yep.
before. So there's a theory that he got
His
turned
arm.
into a fire white, or his hand got turned into a fire white or something like that.
Like the
But
yeah,
he
He
some
could
people
become
believe.
Ghost Writer.
Well, some people believe that he is a fire white. Some people believe that the priest or the R'hllor priest has control of that arm if he wants. So like he can literally make him like choke himself to death, kind of Harry Potter style. But the cool thing is, ever since that, you do see a change in Victarion, kind of the idea that he is going to take what is his, like you finally get back at his brother. He has the strength to do it now with the armada his brother gave him. But the beauty of Euron is that he's so, and he's like he reads people so well. He already knew his brother would do that, so he has a plan. You know, like the idea, like if he spoke sweet nothings into that one girl's ear, she would get pregnant and work for him, and then the next thing you know, she's on the front of his boat, strung up.
I assumed he had some sort of foresight.
I believe so
saying that-
too.
Yeah. So he's not just really good at reading people. He has some sort of
Some type of foresight, and he might have gotten something in Valeria. We don't know because he has found the Valerian suit. Like Euron in the books, let's go back to that. Euron in the books is a terrifying character because unlike Ramsay, he's not sadistic, but he is.
But
Like,
he's
not
cruel. That's the
he-
thing. He's everything that he does is methodical and cruel.
and
Like
just wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. He sees people as like tools. Like you're either going to be useful to me, or I'm just going to like break you into something that is useful.
Right, but not like a Ramsay, like I'm breaking you down because I find pleasure out of this. He has
It's more of a
tools.
sociopath. The
Yeah,
emotion
maybe.
is taken out of it, and it's more of a question of usefulness.
Yeah, I think sociopath might be the one good one. The idea that, he used to molest his brothers just because he wanted to strike fear into them and he enjoyed the power over them because of that.
Probably more psychopath, really.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was never stated that he enjoyed
I
the power.
can-
He wanted to have that power over them. It was never stated that it was a pleasure thing for him. That
no,
it was about
it was a power thing.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think he
Yeah.
enjoyed the power. I think what it was that was his way of showing dominance. My will be done, essentially.
Okay, so not enjoying it. Maybe I kind of misspoke.
I'm saying
You're right.
that's my interpretation.
You're right.
Is what I'm saying.
No, you're right. I agree on that too. It was a power thing where he brings up in the great sample chapter, The Forsaken, where he brings that up with his brother. Were you praying that I would pass you, like the idea that were you praying because I passed you by, and your poor brother had to take it? Like, did you realize that? Were you praying for that? Like it's just the power he has over people is insane. The way he is really, and this is why I would go also sociopath, because he fakes charisma to control the men, control other people, but really he doesn't have it. He doesn't care. He just knows how to use people and what gets them going. Interesting shit.
100% correct, in my opinion. From that sample chapter. That's
Yep.
what I got out of it. Like I read that probably about 10 times, and each time I get something a little bit different with it. But that's the one thing that sticks with that is this guy is all about control at any cost.
Right.
Yeah, I really like the symbolism of his eyes, because like they say, he shows his smiling eye or he shows his blood eye, and it like depends on what kind of mood he's in, I guess. What he's trying to show you, whether he's there to play up the charisma or to get something out of you forcefully.
No,
I think he's being used though, because I think Bloodraven has 1,001 eyes.
Yep.
I think Euron is that one eye.
Well, don't forget, most people, I believe his other eye is obsidian, right? And that is what the candles are made
obsidian
of.
Eye.
Yeah, so you know that Bloodraven has even more ability to get into his head and see through that eye, probably because it's in there. So yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't realize
that he's not Bloodraven.
Right. Well, again, it could be the Great Other, who is the three-eyed crow, or Bloodraven, because I believe they're two separate things.
I hate that you've convinced me of that, because that's kind of ruined so much of it, because it makes sense and I can't disprove it. Yet to me, it sounds so ridiculous that it's true.
Right. A lot of people believe but a lot of people say it was disproven, and I still haven't seen any evidence where Bloodraven makes you realize he's the three-eyed crow.
No.
Well,
I'm with you. It's been inferred, and I'm just like
inferred.
But I don't get it. Then, if that's not the case, who are they? Why the separation? Like, yeah.
Well, George Martin though tends to put all the evidence right in front of you, to the point of being really obvious.
Right.
Which is kind of like, when you get to a plot twist, you go, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have seen it coming."
Right.
Because he did foreshadow it quite a bit. Like the Red Wedding.
He gets off on foreshadowing. If he can put 100 pieces of foreshadowing in there, and then on the 101st thing is the reveal, and you don't see it coming, that's his biggest struggle. And I think that's the reason why I believe Bran going on the throne was a legitimate thing, because no one would have ever seen that coming.
I agree with you.
Been taken away from him.
I just don't think
if you just look at Bran, who has the best story, it's quite obvious that
it's Bran. Yeah,
well, I mean,
I'll be right back.
It's not the guy. It's not the guy who died and came back and then yelled at a dragon and banged his auntie. That makes sense.
No, it's the guy that they skipped for a season.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they skipped him for a season. The guy who was playing Hodor that was with him had a European tour as a DJ, so they had to get that out of the way.
I don't think anyone's going to be on the throne. I think it's going to be like Daenerys said. It's going to be covered in snow because the world has ended.
See, like, I honestly think that it's not going to be a happy ending. If we actually get an ending, I think it's going to be if there is a White King or the White Walker or whoever it is going to win. That's what I think. I don't think we're going to get the quote-unquote
if you're going with the overall tone of Game of Thrones, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a kind of maybe a bittersweet ending. So maybe there'll be a happy ending for someone like an unlikely character. But I dare say anyone and then some will probably be killed off, and maybe Westeros will be like a Valyria, where only literally one family gets to escape.
See, I hear that, and I know it's not true, but basically in my mind, you're going to say, okay, so Hot Pie ends up on the throne. Hot Pie ends up. That's how my head goes. You're going to go some unlikely character.
Hot Pie is the Shrouded Lord.
Something weird, and
Well, with the end of Ragnarok, though, you have two kids surviving. One of them is called Leaf. Well, one of the children of the forest happens to be named Leaf. So it could be the children of the forest are the ones left behind, and humanity has failed. And
it'll be like you wouldn't really expect them, like we're also focused on the big families and whatnot. That most likely that they'll likely all get killed off, leaving behind the native people, or even just like one remaining family.
Yeah, the children of the forest, the ones who were here before man was, are now going to be the ones who are here afterwards.
Yeah, and the name Leaf though is kind of telling.
So I don't really know about having like a complete post-apocalyptic like disaster kind of thing for the end. Because like George set out to write this as a non-traditional heroic story. Like he wanted his characters to be very gray and feel very real, but to still do the great
What's more
things.
non-traditional than having your hero lose?
Well, another thing is...
Well, I'm not saying lose entirely, just,
No.
like the Targaryens are running away from Valyria, that sort of thing. So it's sort of like the people you expect to survive, but at a very big cost.
George Martin said
I would say
he said that he was twisting things around. And if that Ragnarok thing is correct, then the good guys happens to be the villains, the people we're rooting for. And George said that, Hitler was evil, but he was good to dogs. Right? So he's making us root for the ones who will cause harm.
I don't think you're supposed to use dogs.
Protagonist-centered morality.
Yeah, because if you look at Bran's story, right, he has committed pretty much all the sins you're not supposed to do with warging. He's forcefully warged into a human being, which is a big no-no. He's eaten flesh while warging into a wolf, and now he's most likely eaten Jojen and that paste.
I was going to say, not only that, even if you take what he's done in the show, I mean, he's used his warging for power.
Yeah, and
they even states, he's like, who has a better story than that? He's like, why else do you think I'm here? I knew you were going to say that.
Sorry, Tina, I interrupted you. I'm very sorry about that.
Oh no, I was just whispering, saying that I don't think you're supposed to call all the non-Jews dogs when you said Hitler was nice to dogs. It was very horrible a joke, and I apologize, and it wasn't worth asking me to repeat it.
Yeah, that was rough, wasn't it?
Quite rough.
It'll hound you all day.
Mr. Bojan is yelling from the other side of the room. You're canceled already. YouTube career's over.
Oh, who isn't canceled?
Been canceled multiple times. Why not?
Well, Sporking, you agree with me that Bran is definitely being set up to be a villain because he's doing monstrous things already.
It wouldn't be Bran. I mean, I think you're right.
Tell the joke again.
Someone loves dark humor. What was it?
Tina referred to every Gentile as a dog, and that's why Hitler liked them.
Oh wow! Okay, okay. Let's get back to the show.
That was actually more white humor, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was something.
It was very white humor, but no, I mean, it built off a Stig's joke. I mean,
great job.
You could have just said that you read now.
She's gonna get canceled now. So farewell and adieu. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Let's. So again, season 6. Let's not forget this is the same season where Arya comes back and steals the face of Walter Frey and kills his whole family.
And the shoulders and the height and the hunch and the voice and
right, everything is able to. You also have Cersei blowing up the Sept. Euron taking leadership. Dany getting captured by the Dothraki and does the burning thing. She forgives Ser Jorah. She returns to Meereen and saves it, even though she just says, I'm out, and goes to Westeros, joined by Theon and his sister Yara. And then Ella, what's her name? The Dornish woman and Tyrell join forces with her. But the problem again I feel like we're not fixing it. We're just pointing out all the problems, but it's the truth. I mean, we have to. Once again, not understanding characters' motivations, not understanding like why the story went that way. You have Jon Jon is resurrected.
Yeah, all he had to do was cut his hair. Who knew?
Right. but resurrected, and I thought it was pretty cool how like Melisandre gave up.
Give him
She
maybe a
lost-
little white pointy crown or something, because he's
Well-
the king of the north. I mean, anything like that.
Right. But the thing is like he literally, she loses her faith and somehow the resurrection happens. And like to her, that's the rebuilding of her faith. It was just it was a good setup. And then, we get a dick joke. He's a Christ-like figure for a half an episode. And then, like one
Never
more
mention it
time,
again.
Danny sees him with no shirt on and sees like his stab wound and like wonders. But other than that, nothing about the return, nothing that changed him. He's still the same old John. It was stupid.
But it doesn't
He
make
didn't do
even doesn't
anything.
make any sense. That scene, he sees a little stuff. He's like, "Oh, that's enough to kill a man." I'm like, Littlefinger has a scar from his chest to his dick.
Right.
Like,
Right.
having big long scars on your body is a common thing. He has a stab wound.
Yeah. Right. That's, and the idea that that's all his proof. No one else, the devoted people aren't like becoming like a weird obsessive group of followers. Like you would think something would happen where he would have almost a group of people ready to jihad like the rest of Westeros.
He has a fighting force
almost-
that he commands that
Right.
still don't think that he's a god.
Right. Like Doom.
They
Almost like Doom.
saw it. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like there's no way in the world they'd be like, "This is the reason why we're here." Every little bit of faith. He's one of the only few people that are up there that still swear allegiance to the old gods. That it would be a huge sign. To,
Right.
but
Like the
nothing about
wildlings
it.
should be willing to do whatever for like
That should be the
fall
reason
off
the
the
wildlings
wall.
come back. That should be
And-
the reason.
exactly.
Well,
And the
you
North
know what?
then unites. Well,
They actually screwed that up twice because when Stannis burns his girl, the
Yep.
snow melts, so they're
right.
they're witnessing divine intervention there as well.
But see, for some reason on that one, they get scared because it's black like a witchcraft to them. And that's why his people leave him. That's their whole explanation. Like, oh, it was witchcraft. So a lot of guys, went AWOL in the night. Like, what?
Because most common soldiers know the difference between white and dark magic.
Right.
Well,
That
if they don't-
are farmers, and
Well, if they don't kill
Smith
Shireen, though, then you miss that whole scene with Davos with she was good and she was kind and you
And he was
killed her.
great. He was great in that
No.
moment.
Yeah.
Great in that moment. But there was no reason if it was just to melt a little bit of snow. Like,
Right.
there would be no way he would do that to his own daughter because no matter what with Stannis, he has love for that little girl without ever showing it to anyone else.
Yeah, and
Like-
Stannis killing his only heir. What's the point in getting the throne then?
Right.
Yeah, Stannis has a really good line in the book,
Yep.
and it's you're going to hear that I died, and it might be true and it might not, but if it's true, you're going to sit my daughter on the Iron Throne.
Right.
That's what he tells his
His wife.
there's
Yeah.
no way that he would sacrifice the next in
Absolutely.
line when he has no backup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and another
Exactly.
thing, his army keeps asking him to do blood magic,
Right.
or a sacrifice,
Right.
and he just says, "No, I'm not going to sacrifice a single soul. You have to just pray harder."
Right. Right.
Yeah, pray
Because
harder.
I mean, the truth is,
It's not up to me to kill one of you. It's up to you to make sure that you stay alive to pray. The more
Ju-
numbers that we have, the better that we are. So let's survive this next fight.
Well, anybody
Yeah.
in the book
It-
think he truly believes in R'hllor? Go ahead, Mason, with what you were going to say.
I don't.
and then- and
I
then
don't
we'll
personally. I
answer
don't. I
that.
think he's just looking for an edge.
Yeah. Mason, what were
Well-
you going to say?
Right after he says pray harder, he says something like, I have like 100,000 people following me, or not 100,000, but like 10,000 people following me that follow like 10 different gods. And if
Right.
I make a sacrifice, it's going to scare off some of them. It's going
Right.
to make others mad. It's like I can't really do that.
He can't choose one god over another.
Yeah.
Right. You have people from, they believe in the oh God, what's the one under the sea? The
drowned
drowned
god.
god, drowned god.
Ground God.
You got R'hllor. You got the old gods. Like, there's so many different ones that people like pray to. But the idea, if you took this in the show and made John this antichrist type figure, where you don't know if he's actually good or bad, but yet people follow him because they believe in the resurrection. So they
Mhm.
saw him come back from the dead, and they believe he must be like a God chosen one.
It's almost like
I
in real
think-
life. You do a story about a guy that gets resurrected, and all of a sudden, people start following a different religion.
Okay, my juicy friend. Let's he was one of
Hypothetically,
ya.
of course, I'm
He
talking
was one
about.
of you. Yeah, hypothetically. But that
Just like
idea
that
that
they called him the King of the North.
They just dropped it though. You know?
King of North Palestine.
Yeah. I mean, even his own sister, like Sansa, shows up right after his resurrection, and it's not really that big of a deal. The soup is good. Like, that's one of the biggest lines at that. She's drinking soup. Soup's good. So yeah, they totally dropped the ball on that. We get the realization that Bran sees that Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar were in love and married, and Jon's actually the crown prince or king. And then him and Dany, I believe, no, not in season 6, but then we go to season 7. Dany lands in Dragonstone and makes every dumb move after that because she listens to everybody else. Now, you could work with that. Like she's too, almost like what they did with Rhaenyra, not Rhaenys, Rhaenyra, yeah, where like when she first became queen, she kind of like let people decide, and she tried to go with peaceful resolution, and then her son gets killed at the end of that last episode, and okay, you see that she's not going that route. She's going to be the queen. She has to be. We built to that, and that was one season. With Dany, we don't see this building to a lunatic. Like she should just be like, this is fire and blood. Do you think this horrific scene wasn't something that Aegon the Conqueror had to look at also? Like, she never goes with that. She uses the dragon against the Lannisters, and I think that's season 8, but it might be season 7.
Like,
and then everyone thinks she's a lunatic. Everyone thinks, oh my God, she's so evil.
they could have done the same thing, but all they had to do was do the tiniest little thing just before it happens. She instead of getting skull or angry, she gets a bit dizzy, and then her eyes go blue.
Yeah, some weird.
And like, wait a minute, the Night King he's done something. So she starts wiping everyone out and everything like that. And then Jon sees it just as they're talking, and then kills her. That's the. I mean,
she gets blamed for the wildfire in the city because of Cersei sending off wildfire. They all think it's dragonfire, and she's really actually has to defend herself from the people by using her dragons. Like the idea, but the problem what they do is, when she uses her dragons, they make it seem like it's evil. Or when she burns Samwell Tarly's father and brother, well, she had to. They were being disrespectful to her. And we've already, one of the first scenes in the whole series is Ned Stark taking the head of a guy we all know is innocent. But yet that is the price he had to pay, because order has to happen. A lord has to follow his own rules, and he was showing his son those rules. But yet, when Dany does it, she's a lunatic because those guys were never going to bend the knee to her. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got a valid point, but that's the writer's fault, not ours.
Also, the Ned stuff, right?
Yep.
It could also be that he kind of executed him rather quickly, so he wouldn't tell his story to the public.
Right.
Actually,
yeah, get people a little worried.
He worked for the Clintons.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a conversation? Like, didn't he say something about that? That men are about to die. Usually don't tell lies.
Something
kind of thing. And I think when he was talking to Bran about the whole thing, because it was his first execution that he had witnessed, that he didn't necessarily say that he didn't believe the kid saw what he saw.
Right.
He believed it. Right.
I think both Ned and Benjen knows exactly what's going on north of the wall.
Right.
So the mistake that the guy made was he didn't go back to Castle Black. He went around the wall and just ran down and got near Winterfell. So he technically did desert, but he also definitely saw the White Walkers.
Right. What do you have there, Nick, in the chat?
Oh, I was just going to say, with regard to Ned and chopping off the guy's head right at the beginning,
Yeah.
I guess it's probably not really all that relevant. I was just going to say it was more of a demonstration of his character, straight up.
Right.
Because, like, despite how he feels about this fellow who's telling stories about White Walkers and all that sort of stuff, I think really that is a kind of foreshadowing about what happens later on, that Ned Stark, he will not, he won't sacrifice his honor. He will do what needs to be done,
And because of that, he loses his head.
He's very by the book, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
So he essentially won't deviate. Even if it means like his own survival, even if it means, saving this person or that person, if he has been charged with a task, he is going to stick to it. And I dare say it is a kind of stubbornness.
Yeah, kind of like Stannis. Yep.
Hmm.
Well, because like Stannis is rule bound, Ned is honor bound. Yet Stannis does have that too, but
obeying the rules in this case.
Yeah. Right.
I look at the juxtaposition between Ned's actions and Ned's death as positions of power. Whether you're telling the truth or a lie, whether you're telling the truth or a lie, at that time, someone with power over you is still going to take your head if they're given the opportunity. It's displaying what the world is like.
Right.
That no one, whether you're, everyone has an order. Even Joffrey doesn't get his head taken off, but gets taken out, based purely simply on someone that had power over him at some stage.
Right.
I think that's order. He stands for order.
Yeah. Stig, what were you going to say?
Well, Ned tells Bran, because Bran asked, do you think he saw the White Walkers or whatever it was? And Ned says, I think a madman sees what he sees.
Right.
Could he also be talking about the Mad King a little bit there?
I mean, you definitely, you believe once you learn the story, he's probably talking about like the Mad King. This guy is mad. Like they believe what they believe. Like he truly believed that guy saw the White Walkers. He just didn't believe his story either. But he killed them because he broke the oath.
That Ned has skeletons in his closet as well, especially with his involvement with the Mad King's demise and all that sort of stuff.
The killing of the children. That's why he.
All that. The killing of children, and
that's why he loses his shit when they want to. Robert orders the death of Dany because he knows Jon could easily be his next target if he finds out the truth. Ned Stark is a ward, maybe. I believe that maybe, Brian. Maybe. So season 7, don't forget we lose one of the dragons to the White Walkers. And then is used to blow down the wall. We've talked about that.
Also, where did the chain come from that he used to pull up the dragon?
Yeah. That wasn't an ice chain, was it? I don't remember it looking like ice.
No, it was a metal chain.
It was a metal chain.
They've been stockpiling chain for a while.
Dragging it all the way from the far north, all the way down, like tucking it out of scene.
On the off chance the dragons come back and one happens to die on their side of the wall.
It's like, I guess it's lucky that he didn't show us.
I guess it's lucky that there wasn't a scene that showed them that they can't go underwater.
Yeah, well, we didn't see that, but I also love like the part where I wish off camera, like they probably did like one of the White Walkers to the other. Like, I freaking told you we were going to need this chain. He's like, all right.
Maybe they got it from Tyrion, like after the Battle of the Blackwater, and they just got a good deal on it. It's like, we'll just keep it up. Maybe it'll be useful.
Yeah, it floated up.
That's
like a used chain.
But it was
traded him that for the knife.
They just used the teleport portal. King's Landing and got the chain.
They're like, excuse me, Lord Baelish, can I use Lord Baelish? Can I use your teleport machine? We also
walked around the wall into the water, all the way down and back.
We also get Baelish is trying to turn the Starks' children against each other, and let's not forget this is where Baelish is like no longer Littlefinger, like he just makes dumb mistakes.
No, he's middle finger to the character.
Yeah.
I think in this season, they try to make Baelish's control or influence over Sansa be what it is in the books, but without having the effort that Baelish put in at the Eyrie.
Right,
At
all
the
that
Vale.
creepy like dad-daughter vibe. It's weird.
Exactly.
Well, the other thing though that they sentenced him to death for having conspired, basically trying to trick the Stark kids. But like, he just saved everyone just a few days ago. Doesn't that count for anything? And what kind of trial was it though? Yeah, the kid in the wheelchair says that he saw in his head
Right.
that you did something villainous because he has a stick to prove it.
Right, and everyone's just
You
gonna
know?
believe it. And Arya,
Mhm.
Arya just walks up, slits his neck while he's begging for his life, like, and no one says a word.
Remember,
Well, you're right, 'cause, like,
remember
Sansa
when Rob killed
didn't
one of the
ask-
Karstarks?
Wait,
And-
hold
and it
on,
almost-
Tina first, and then you, sir. Sorry.
So, because you're right, because Sansa didn't say anything like, "Yeah, you're guilty" or whatever. I mean, Arya just
Yeah. All right.
slit his
Yeah.
throat with nothing.
Yep. Grant.
Remember when like Rob killed one of the Karstarks and everything, and it almost caused a civil war between them?
It pretty
You
much
know,
did. Yeah.
Except that all of a sudden now his own people will be like, no, they found you guilty. It's good enough for them to kill one of us.
Same people. Same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
No one likes
Again.
Baelish.
Like,
It's so dumb.
That's what I'm saying. Like they go against their own internal story plots and everything. And the fact of the matter is that Baelish is not going to yell trial by combat.
Yeah. No, right. Exactly. He would get someone to fight for him, kind of in a Tyrion twist.
So
Ned
I think
takes
you're
over. I like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
But
please
I
do.
think you're forgetting the like 40 minutes of Sansa and Arya pretending to not like each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, what if we just pretended to like hate each other and conspire and threaten each other so
Yeah.
that we can trap Littlefinger?
But let's do it. Let's do it in a room by ourselves
no
where
one
there's
else
no
can
one
see
watching.
it.
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to say the same exact thing. Like nobody sees it. Like I thought season 7 was the worst. Like I really did. But then you get to season 8 where someone like Varys, like he literally becomes a completely different character. I mean, you go
Yeah.
from a guy who's willing. I could break you out, Lord Stark, but then I'm not a hero. Like, I survive. That's pretty much his whole thing. I survive, and he literally throws him, like, makes it obvious he's going against Dany, being just walking up on the beach to Jon, who he really doesn't know, and says, like, the thing about you flip a coin when a Targaryen's born, hoping that it's not going to be a lunatic. And you should kill your now lover / aunt. And you don't think like that wouldn't be
does
him.
he know that he's a Targaryen at that stage?
Yeah, at that time. Yep.
So why would
So-
you say that to a Targaryen?
Well, because he's trying to explain to him, Danny's crazy, you're not. Even though we haven't seen anything, because she's a little sad that no one likes her in Westeros at that moment. And she gets a little jealous of him. What?
Well, the other weird thing though is she banishes Jorah for basically spying on her.
Right.
For
Trying to
telling
get
on
her killed.
Right.
Well, kind of. He saves her, but then who sent the assassin? That was Varys
Right.
on
Right,
behalf
well-
of King Robert. But she welcomes him with open arms.
She does, but she does
the
warn
scene
him.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he said that I'll always do what's best for the realm. And
Right.
her line was, as long as you don't do it behind my back, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you do, I'll
think
kill
I'm,
you.
Yeah, she says
Yeah,
something
go-
like, if you think I'm doing something wrong, just tell me. Don't try and kill me.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
then you have him in season 8 and he's writing letters to people to try and
Yeah.
turn him against Dany. Has
Yeah.
his little bird come in and said she wouldn't take the poison that I tried to feed her. He's like, well, the greater the
keep
risk, the
trying.
greater the
Yeah.
reward.
Right. And when she's like, I think they're figuring me out. They're starting to look at me. He would have either killed her or been
Killed her
like, go
there
on
and
your
then.
way. Go on your way. He
Exactly.
would have killed her most likely. He's like,
Why
nah.
would a
Like,
mermaid
girl, clean in
carry
the
that?
windows, fell out
Yeah.
the
He
window.
shouldn't be in the building.
Yeah,
He's
get
trying
back
to
in
kill
there.
the queen.
Yeah.
Get
Why
back
would a
in there,
mermaid care about a little bird?
Hmm. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just dumb. And then
It-
just Tyrion.
They also forgot about the warlocks. They got set up quite a bit. Last we saw them, they tried to kill Danny on the dock,
Right, where
and
Barristan
then never
saved
seen
him.
again.
Never seen
Yeah.
again. Yep. I mean,
They
there's
just-
so
they
many
forgot
things
about
that
her.
go wrong. Yeah, they just forgot about her.
I
But
think
then we
one
get
of the worst things they did with the with Melisandre, or no, I'm sorry, that's not the next season. Never mind.
well, we're doing season 7 and 8, so you're all right to go with it.
Okay. Well, with Melisandre coming back like by herself, like she leaves, and Davos says, "Don't come back or I'll kill you," and Jon says, "Don't come back or I'll kill you." So you figure, oh my God, it's her, and she brought warlocks up the wazoo. Nope.
Nope, just her.
Yeah, she goes to Volantis and then walks back from north of the wall.
Right. Right. And then she sets fire to the Dothraki. All right, we're going to get to that episode. We have the first episode that's Winterfell in season 8. And that's Dany and Jon arrive at Winterfell. Jon has pledged his allegiance to her. At Winterfell, he's reunited with Bran and Arya. And Sansa, because he already was with her. Theon attempts to rescue his sister Yara from Euron. Qyburn hires Bronn to assassinate Jaime and Tyrion. Should either survive the war. It wasn't a bad episode. It was just kind of catching up on what was going on. Then you had episode 2 actually wasn't bad. It was one where it was a lot of dialogue, people talking about, thinking about the war to come and stuff.
The
It wasn't a
reunion
bad
episode.
Yeah,
Essentially.
pretty
Everyone just reunited.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's not the one that Podrick sang, and everybody loved his voice.
Right.
and-
Right. Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely.
Was that the one that Daenerys legitimized the person who should be king?
Oh,
No.
I think that's
she legitimized
after-
Gunry either that night or the
Right.
night.
Right. She
Or was it after
legitimized
the battle?
Right,
No,
but she
no.
legitimized the person, no matter what episode it was, legitimized the person that was the Sun's king.
Yeah,
Like, you just
the dude
caused
that has
another
the
issue.
biggest claim against you.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
now, definitely.
Yeah.
Right. John too, but he was a wussy.
Sorry, he gets to go and bang someone who he thinks a child.
But she likes him because you remember he ran all the way back from the north to the wall. And
He
got-
has stamina. I
yeah,
get it.
and then they called her on the super duper pigeon line, not the bird
Yeah, no,
line, but
that was
pigeon.
why they had 5G crows.
Right, 5G crows. That's right.
Crows.
And, she flew up, lost her dragon. Great episode. And then you get the kind of long night.
Oh, hang on. You're missing
Okay.
a big one here now.
All right.
They go to they spend a few episodes to capture a zombie, and they take the
Right.
zombie to King's Landing, and they
Right.
go, "Yeah, you can only kill these with fire or obsidian, right?" Well, Gendry smashed them to bits with a hammer in the episode before, and even Ghost killed one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't really need
Ghost has-
fire.
I thought Gendry's hammer was Valyrian steel.
Is it
No,
Valerian? No, I think he just made a warhammer,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
like his
But
father used to use.
well, Ghost as well. He destroyed them by biting them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you don't really need fire. You just proved that a few episodes ago when you killed like 50 of them without.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
they
true.
killed them willy nilly. So it's like that whole segment was completely pointless.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the show writers screwed up because you can kill White Walkers with fire or a dragon glass. But George Martin said that if you use dragon glass on one of the whites, the zombies,
Yeah.
it's the same as a dagger.
Right.
it's not
Not
gonna
like a
do
White
anything.
Walker. Right. White Walker will shatter, but
Yeah.
a white won't. You're right about
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
So they basically just combined them mid-show.
Yeah. No, you're right. Because they have no clue what they're doing. I mean,
It's
the long night was.
it's so sloppy. That's the thing. It's sloppy work.
No, you're right. And then like with again the long night episode, it was dark. We don't even have to discuss that. But it was an
Let's put our
episode where
trebuchets in the front line.
right, Dothraki in the front, right behind them, not being protected once they charge, is the trebuchets. Yeah, there's no thought process on how to defend Winterfell, which has high walls. You know, is a really great fortress to defend if you have enough people. So let's put everybody outside of the walls to fight the White Walkers.
Yeah.
It was
Making the walls kind of pointless.
right, and
Yeah,
who died
everything
there?
about that episode was no one, because they cut away just before it
I
happened.
think it was
You saw-
Jorah, right? Was the only
Jorah,
one.
yeah. Jorah got a
everyone
little
else
scratch
she
on.
thought might die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like
no,
literally
so-
every single one. You see Sam get surrounded by 5 dudes. One of them, it brings the sword straight down to his
Yep.
neck. Just as it's about to hit his neck, they cut. Next thing you know, he's fighting everyone off on the wall. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then they rinsed and repeated that
Well,
for every character.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
Jamie and
Sam and
Brienne?
Brienne had plot
Yeah, Sam-
armor all three.
right.
Brienne was
Mhm.
screaming like she was being slaughtered.
Well, she was getting
So
pulled
they were
down
both up
too.
against the wall, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah,
Her and Jamie, like
Podrick and
basically
her or
looking at
something.
each other. Yeah.
Yep. And Jamie can't get to them, and then the next thing they're fighting again. One of the worst episodes ever in any
And
series.
it won an
is that.
award.
Yes, it did. And again, got the job for Sapochnik for House of the Dragon. Was that in the Battle of the Bastards?
Yeah.
I mean, just not
and
worth
then and then what does he do? House of the Dragon. He references that battle in
Right.
House of the Dragon.
it. Right.
The
Oh,
prince
which is-
that was promised. Well, that's Arya. That's not a prince.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That was stupid.
So you guys remember the episode with the episode of House of the Dragon where they're on the beach for Lena's funeral, and it's Damon and Rhaenyra.
In the middle of the day, and they put the blue filter on it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. It was the middle of the day when they filmed it, and then you turned it to night with filters.
Which makes no sense because all the leaked footage that they showed us was in the middle of the day, so we know exactly when it was and what they were doing.
Yeah, terrible. Brian brings up the faceless man plot of who they kill, the kill plot. Arya breaking these rules over and over again. Yeah, she somehow is able to escape them.
They were only there so she could say, "No, I am Arya Stark.
Yeah,
I was the faceless man all along, and the prince that was promised, and everyone. Like I am everything.
But,
I'm every woman.
And there you go. The decision to
I
have
am all the
Arya,
heroes.
but the decision to have
I'm all the
Arya
Jedi.
kill the Night King. We wanted to subvert expectation. She had nothing to do with that northern plot. The only people that could have done it other than Jon were the people that fought with him at Hearthome or knew of the Night King for more than 45 minutes. Like, for her to jump out of, like, I don't know, a wall that wasn't there. She came flying, like Michael
It was out of a
Jordan.
tree.
Yeah, there was not out of a tree. There was no tree there. No tree.
Actually, there was a tree, but it was
On
behind
the
Bran.
wrong side. It was on the
Yeah.
wrong
Oh.
side.
Well, I mean, I don't
it-
mind her sailing through the air to attack him, and I
I
don't
do.
mind him catching
Of
her.
course you
I don't
don't.
mind him catching her. All he needed to do was just like break her neck,
Snap her
throw
neck.
her, or throw her,
Or she
and then
should
she'll
have
have Jon
froze.
come in.
She should have froze when he grabbed her.
Oh,
Like,
that's a good point.
They're colder
He touches babies and he turns them into
Yeah.
ice.
He does
You've seen that
what?
happen.
He
Look
touches
at his
babies.
gloves on.
Hey, we never said they were good guys, right? Yeah, it's just terrible. Like, he grabs her. She should have automatically, like, at least lost her throat or vocal cord, something. Nothing happens. Arya is super ninja.
I
She's
swear
a
to God,
Jedi.
they forgot who their audience was for half that season.
What's
Yeah,
that? Say it
I
again.
swear to God, they forgot who their audience was for
Yep.
half that season. Just certain.
I don't think so,
certain dialogue
actually.
choices as well.
I think their audience were the YouTube reactors and the shippers.
Oh yeah, no. You do bring up a very good point. See, that's a very scary thought.
Right.
Maybe they do know who their audience is,
Yes.
and that's
So-
even worse.
Yep.
And also, Bran is definitely the bad guy. He's like, "Hey, Theon, how about you charge at this guy? Let's just see what happens."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or maybe tell the guy who you
The
claim
only
is
way out-
being
right.
your brother. Don't charge these guys. It's going to end well. He's like, "But I can take him." He's like, "No, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Sit back behind
Yeah.
me. You'll be
He
fine.
told him he was.
I'm going to go
man.
walk for a minute."
And then the
You did
target
say
audience.
You're a good man, Theon. You're a good
Yeah.
man.
God.
Yeah. And then the target audience were cheering it on, going, yeah, Theon redeemed himself. No, he didn't.
No,
he
he
committed
looked like an
suicide.
idiot. He looked like an idiot. And the worst
So,
part is right after that, Arya runs by them all, like, again, like the Flash. Like, one hears the wind, and he's like, I thought I might have heard. Must not be anything. She sucks. Oh,
So do you guys
And then you hear,
remember-
I believe I can fly. And then she comes in and slam dunks.
yeah.
Yeah. And that one stab also changes how the planet of Westeros works, because now winter has ended.
Right.
All the
Whenever-
seasons have now changed on the
Yeah.
planet.
Like that.
Winter is coming for a night
Turned King's
Yeah.
Landing into a desert. Mason,
Yeah.
were you,
beforehand.
Mason, were you
I
going to
mean,
say something?
Winter would still be coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White Walkers or not.
So two things. One, do you remember when the Night King touches Bran on the arm and he gets like frostbite on his
Yes.
arm,
Yes.
and then
That's why I'm-
Arya just doesn't have anything on her neck or anything. She's fine.
She is every woman. There's a song written about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the-
yeah.
You know what that means? It means it's okay to choke women
Yeah.
because they can take it.
Yeah.
Game
But
of
that's
Thrones
weird
told us
because
that.
there was a blue guy that was
Some
choking a
women
chick
like-
that was on a poster and it got banned. Remember the X-Men poster?
Oh,
Some
yeah.
women like to be choked.
Yes. Yes.
Go
Watch
on,
out.
Tina.
Yeah.
This is Wednesday night. We can't have that conversation.
Yeah. Just.
But don't you know, women
Oh.
aren't allowed to be sexual or have sexualities. They can't be sexualized at all
Unless they're dudes.
unless they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you
dude
think that they're
ladies.
15 years old and they're, having sex with Gendry the
Yeah.
night before.
Is
It's
she
all-
That
18?
girl
Let's
wasn't
Google
going
that.
to die a virgin.
He was a booty call. I feel so bad for him. He was like, "I'm in love." She's like, "Yeah, that was all right. Yeah, I'll text you later." Yeah,
They kinda
You've
just
got
didn't
the
know
number
what
of
to do.
my Raven, don't you? Yeah, cool.
Mason,
cool.
just talk through everybody. Go for it, man. Mason, just push.
They kind of just didn't know what to do with Arya. Like they made her come back from Essos, learning
Yeah,
all
she
the faceless
came.
man stuff, and then they kind of just threw her at plot lines and hoped for the
Oh,
best.
She
Like
got
she starts
thrown.
going down to kill Cersei, and she's like, "Oh, John's back. He's at Winterfell," and she starts going back up there. And then as soon as the night or the long night happened, she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to stay with my family anymore. I don't like
Yeah,
it."
it was
It
long.
goes right back down.
Clearest
To,
plot, you know?
She's
I mean,
gone.
she spent a night with a guy that can wield a big
That
hammer.
Assassin's
And he's
Creed
also got a
plot,
weapon
a
as
list of
well.
people to kill, and she didn't.
Wait a minute, say that again, Nick.
Oh, Arya basically had the clearest plot
Yeah.
of all the characters. It's like Assassin's Creed. She had a list of people she needed to kill, and all she needed to do was kill them.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Cersei should have been
that's
the one.
another biggie.
Yeah,
Once characters got killed off, her list shrunk, even though Arya had no way of knowing that they had died.
no clue.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
You know
Clue.
the executioner that they just wrote out of the show because the actor died.
Yep.
Yeah, she had removed him too.
Yeah, the old guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot she did that. Oh my god,
Yeah,
they did that.
The list just shrunk. So she knew, like I said, she knew what the viewers knew.
Because she's every woman.
She is. And don't forget, after the long night, for some reason, Jamie, who professed his love the night before to Brienne, was like, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm going back to my sister. That's just how it's going to happen."
That
That has,
She
that has
was-
to kill your self-esteem, surely. Like you're like, I get to bang this really hot dude, and he's just like, dude, I'd rather go fuck my sister. Like, legitimately, I'm going back to do that. Like,
Well, I mean, because
You see-
Jamie loved Brienne, but he was in love with Cersei, so he had to go
no,
back
he
to her.
wasn't.
No, he
He
won't.
lusted after his
that-
sister. There was no love there.
Go ahead, Mason.
That could have been a good way to use Arya. Maybe she killed Jamie because of something and uses his face to go
Oh.
down to kill Cersei.
Well, I thought you meant to go down on Brienne for a second.
Oh.
I was like, where is he going with this?
Yeah,
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 go
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm the sick bastard. Yeah. I mean, it would have
And
been
who would
cool
get
if she
tied up
did
in
yeah,
that.
scenario?
Gendry wasn't enough. I got to do
she's like-
something else.
Jamie, your penis seems so much bigger. Don't worry, I can change that.
You know what
Yeah,
else
she-
though? Brienne couldn't satisfy Jamie, who
Right.
actually only has his left hand
Yeah.
most of the time.
So,
Doesn't even have his right hand.
so like, is their whole body the like clay thing that they can like?
That's
like
what I'm
how
saying. We don't
Jack
know.
and Hagar could just like swirl his face around and make it different. Can you do
But
that
he
with your
did-
whole body?
I guess so. because
Asking
she
for a
became
friend.
Walter, yeah, she became Walter Frey. I mean, you know,
Does that mean that her testicles were down to her knees?
something like that.
You know,
She only peed a little.
that actually opens up a question though, because if
About the testicles?
if Arya can change into Jamie, will Arya Jamie have the right hand that
Ooh.
was chopped off?
Ooh.
Because if
Like
it
polyjuice.
does, that means
Yeah.
Arya can the faceless man can regenerate limbs.
Yeah. So if somebody has George's email, can you just email them and put like testicles in
Yeah.
capital letters?
Yeah.
as
Subject
the,
line.
the subject, and be like,
I
so
think it's just the face though that they changed.
I
No.
do
So,
too. But
yeah,
she was able
in-
to become Walter Frey.
in the show, she only steals faces, but you see Jack and Hagar actually like do the John Cena thing and change faces.
What
So
he was able to
it's-
manipulate his own face to change, but that was some type of skill they do talk about in the books, like the cutting
Yeah,
of
it's-
the face and yeah.
Yeah, it's talked about in the books, and then the show just kind of like, we're just gonna
Yeah.
steal dead people's faces.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, sorry, that just reminds me. I forgot that Arya had a gut wound and was doing parkour.
Dude, she's amazing.
But she
Okay.
did
Every
get to see
woman-
the best play ever. Okay,
Ever.
Well, she jumped into the canals and the healing waters of
Of
the.
Mo-
Sewage water. Yep, everyone knows.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like the mud spas that you go to. Only it's just like crap in the water that you just rub on
This
your
one's made of
face.
feces.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
just rub shit water in your
Yeah,
wounds. It's
oh.
gonna work.
Oh,
Oh,
who's
well, maybe.
this sloth
Wait, where was
guy?
the pool of? Where was the Jonquil pools in the House of the in Fire and Blood? Remember when like Alysanne goes there to take a bath in the Jonquil's pool? Like it was kind of like a
Oh.
bathhouse,
Yeah,
and then somebody tries to kill her, and that's when she gets a queen's guard kind of thing.
yeah.
Wasn't that near the whorehouse?
I thought so. I thought it was in like around Flea Bottom, but not in Flea Bottom.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I can't remember.
because that was the night that she comes back and she runs into Strong. Isn't that right?
Well, I don't know, but I'll be reading this book again to let me know the whole entire story with
I'm on
beautiful
page
pictures.
148, and it's
know,
really
I
sad
haven't
because I
started.
just read that part of the story, so it's sad that I can't remember where it was. But
I know. I'm the same way. Don't worry about it. Hey, let's talk a little bit more about how shitty this whole thing. The Last of the Starks. That was the aftermath of the battle, where you know. Danny, this is the beginning of Mad Queen because, Tormund's like, he's a wild man. He rode a dragon. Who the hell would ride a dragon? Even though he rode a dragon
Dude,
the
he
season
did.
before.
That-
Yeah,
He
exactly.
was literally on the dragon.
Yeah, I know. You know, and I know. He
he
doesn't.
drove a dragon. I guess maybe that's the difference.
It's Starbucks. I don't know. Something about a cup too. Like just a terrible, terrible like ending to a great show. Like, oh, and let's not forget, is it that episode of the next one where her dragon dies?
Yeah, well, she
You know,
forgot about it. It's her own
Right.
fault.
One shot kills that dragon, but when she goes up against 50 ships with them shooting everywhere, she makes it through all fine.
Like seriously, we should watch the pitch meeting for season 8.
We should.
Dude, we could just clip it out afterwards. We should watch it because everything that we're talking about, like this, like he nails season 8 perfectly.
Hold on. I'll
It
find
really
it.
does.
Because I believe it's probably high on my list because I watch it all the time. You keep
so
talking.
one really cool thing that you see in House of the Dragon is that you see Vhagar with all of her like battle damage. Like she has holes in her wing, and
Hmm.
you didn't get any of that.
Nothing.
Like there weren't
Nothing.
any scorpion shots going through what is it
Exactly.
Viserion's wings.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's just like
Viserion.
one through his head.
I mean, and not only
know-
did she take out all the ballistas on the ship, she took them out all on the wall too.
Yeah.
You gotta understand. In between episodes, it's like Dungeons and Dragons when you're playing. You get a rest period and you can level up. So she put all of her thing into attack and defense.
Yep.
So she had a lot of XP stored up. So at one stage, she's not good enough to get 50 scorpions. But the next episode, she can get 100 because she's leveled up. You
know
just
what
didn't
else
see
is-
that. Yeah.
How
You know
many
what else
points
is
did
weird,
she
though?
get for spawn killing Rhaego?
Oh no, that because she was enchanted at the time. So yeah, she got a bonus.
Stig, what were you gonna say?
Well, you know when Daenerys loses a dragon, she also loses her fleet, and they
Yeah.
all get it for a Dragonstone.
Yeah.
How do they get off Dragonstone with no ships? Dragonstone
they
is an
swam.
island. Because in the next episode, they're outside King's Landing about to assault the gates, which wasn't possible in season 2. Hence why Stannis had to attack from the bay. Because he couldn't,
As weirdos on the internet like to say, who cares? It's fantasy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are too serious.
Yeah, but seriously, they were stranded on an island. Euron could have just surrounded the island.
Just a kid show about space wizards. Oh wait, sorry,
Yeah.
wrong one.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just
let's
some
not
rocks that look up. All right,
Well,
that's all
let's-
boats are.
That's it. That's it. But let's not forget, like, the Dothraki were wiped out in episode 3. In episode 4, she has a whole crew of Dothraki back again. Like,
No, I
anyway,
explained that because they all got the extra power. They put their money in regeneration.
Oh,
So,
right. Hold on.
oh, you're already playing it.
Yeah,
So-
I know.
Regeneration, not by generation, right?
No, yeah.
But-
Distinct
All right,
difference.
ready? We're gonna watch this. If we get clipped, you can watch the rest of it with us on Rumble.
Really want this to be
Or should we just go to Rumble and watch it? No, we'll play it. What the hell?
over, so can we speed this pitch meeting up, please? Oh, I mean, we literally just started. Well, I'm in a rush, so, let's get cracking. I mean, okay. So anyway, the first 2 episodes are going to be people kind of meeting and reuniting in Winterfell. Arya's going to sleep with Gendry. Oh, having seen her grow up on the show, that makes me extremely uncomfortable. Is she 18? That's certainly what people are going to Google, but yes, she is. Yikes,
I did.
okay. And then episode 3 is going to be when the Night King and his army are going to arrive.
Yeah, I definitely googled that to see whether she was 18.
So they did
like-
this.
Yeah.
Sorry, they did the same thing with Sansa. Like as soon as she turned 18 was when they did the Ramsay wedding.
Oh yeah,
So
give it to her good. I like how at the
Steve
very
Ram.
beginning. I love at the
her.
very beginning. He's like, "We got to speed this up." Like how they sped up the whole season. No, we got to get this going. We got to get it going.
yeah, I have a Star Wars meeting like 5 minutes after this. Can we hurry
Yeah,
up?
right.
In Winterfell. Oh my god, the moment we've been building towards for 8 seasons. Yeah, and so Bran reveals that the Night King wants him because he's kind of like the memory of Westeros. Oh, why? Because that's his motivation. Well, okay then. So then the Dothraki charge at the dead army and they pretty much all get wiped out. Oh my god. Until a couple of episodes later when they kind of just multiply because I need more of them. Oh.
Show is so dumb. It's so dumb. This guy does the best
There's
breakdown.
clearly 2 of them.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. One has glasses, so he's
Exactly.
the evil one.
One is
Anyway,
Ryan
then-
George and the other one is George Ryan.
Yeah, there
So-
you go.
So this just gave me an idea. Like it would have been really cool if they did Bran where he has Blood Raven inside him and and the Night King. He's like a
Oh.
balance between the two.
Ooh.
Like,
Oh, I
Bran
think you meant
takes
like
both
an orgy
roles.
thing.
Yeah, I thought it was
I was
like
like, yeah.
Eiffel Tower, or maybe like the twins. They would probably call it.
Yeah, they
twins.
just keep rolling them back and forth between
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
This is your initiation to power.
Roll him. That was good because he's in a wheelchair.
Welcome,
I got that.
Bohemian Grove.
Turn the frogs gay.
And the zombies are gonna charge at the good guys, and there's just like a wall of them. Oh wow, it sounds like World War Z. Exactly, yeah, it's gonna be like watching World War Z, but with, like 5 pairs of sunglasses on. What? So they're just...
Here I was thinking that was just my computer screen.
Yeah, no, it gets very dark. A good thing he talks about too is like they never make a decision. Are these whites super fast or slow? Because it takes them forever marching, like to get to the wall. And by the time once they get through the wall, it's like now that they're in Westeros, they're like, just super
They're
fast
Usain Bolt.
zombies. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
that's because it's south, so it's downhill.
Yeah, downhill. They're going south. Yeah.
yeah. Miguel
Tens of-
Sapochnik got notes back from the studio that said, make this darker. He just misunderstood it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind
good.
of like Alec Baldwin when they said shoot.
Yeah.
They actually did it.
Oops.
Oh shit.
Of thousands of zombies, and they're just swarming everybody. Wow, it's gonna be tough for the main characters to live through an attack like that. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yes, anytime a really important character gets swarmed, we're just gonna kind of cut away from them and then come back later to see that they're fine. Wait.
I mean, everything we said.
You know,
Yep.
one thing they did well in that episode, the little girl from Bear Island.
Oh,
She
Yeah.
went
Liana.
on like a
Yeah.
boss.
She went
Yeah.
out like
Yeah.
a boss.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that-
She went
that
out. She
one
went
was
out like
great.
a bitch. I loved it.
Oh, she just
fact-
fucking said, "I'm taking your eyes. I'm killing this motherfucker with me." That was awesome. I'm sorry. I'll take that one. Because the only king she knows is the king of the north.
Very unbelievable, but more believable
yeah.
than the Arya stuff.
Yeah.
At
that
least,
kid
at least
was-
she didn't survive.
Right. Right. Can you imagine like 2 scenes later she's up running?
Yep.
So how did they
They just
survive?
taped up her
Being-
ribs. She's fine.
Yeah, she's
You know
fine.
what she
Don't
should
worry.
have done? Because it cracked her back, right?
Yeah.
She should have been crawling and then tossing Bran out of the
Yeah.
wheelchair, taking
Exactly.
the wheelchair, and then fighting from the wheelchair.
Oh my god. And like somehow putting like blades on the side of her wheels.
Picking
Like,
up a lance and rolling
Yeah.
down the stairs and impaling people on it.
oh, that would have been even better.
I guess
Oh,
no
shit.
one could
King off
give
screen?
her a haircut.
No. No.
Now who has a
should
better
take-
story?
Oh,
She should be the queen.
for a little bit. I guess that makes sense. Oh, also, Bran is gonna warg into a crow. Oh, why does he do that? Unclear. Okay, gotcha. Anyway, eventually the Night King's gonna do that thing where he raises his arms and all the dead come back to life. Oh boy. Yeah, and Tyrion and a bunch of people are down in the crypts, so, you know, it gets scary. So they're fighting a guy that can raise the dead and they go hide in the crypts? I thought Tyrion was the smart one. He used to be, but now I need things to happen really fast, so that's all over. Oh, okay. And so then Jon screams at a dragon for
Legitimately
some
what happened. That's
Yeah.
legitimately their thought process.
Yeah. Speed it up.
reason. That's cool, I guess. Maybe. And then Arya sneaks up on the Night King and stabs him, and you know, that's the end of winter. Oh, it's over? Yep, all done. So moving on. Wait, that's just it? Yeah, that's it. So anyway, but we've been building towards this for 8 seasons. It's just done with a quick stab. It is, yeah. So what was with the Night King's connection to Bran, or that weird symbol that kept popping up, or the fact that the White Walkers Listen, sir, I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about winter, okay? It's over. We gotta move on. Oh, I just feel a little empty inside. It feels like this could have been fleshed out. Well, there's no time. There's only a couple of episodes left. You can have more episodes if you want. I just don't see any other way other than rushing it. You could do it in more episodes. Damn this short
I
final
had an
season.
idea.
Yeah.
You know, they were planning that the pointless Jon Snow show. What
Yep,
they could do to fix some things is to introduce the Great Other and have the Night King having worked on his behalf. Because
Ooh,
then
yeah.
Jon Snow can kill the Great Other and he will be the prince that was promised.
We need it. Something like
you-
that.
You can fix it somewhat like
Right.
that.
Right. The problem is, normal people would be like, didn't he kill the bad guy? I just didn't get it. And you
Yeah.
would have to be like, no, this is like Palpatine and Snoke. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But that's the only way they can salvage something, I think. To have, like, the main villain wasn't dead.
Right.
They
Agreed.
just killed the second in
But
command
do
or
you trust
something.
them to be that clever?
No.
No.
Mm.
That's
Because
the
Jon Snow and everyone else should still be dead because there should be a winter.
Yeah.
That's going to last for generations, and they have not stored up any kind of food.
Yeah.
Well, I think that in Snow they're going to have Jon discover the ice dragons, and he's going to be the first Targaryen to mount.
Okay,
ice
let's
dragons.
move on.
So-
Let's move on.
so,
God,
uh,
please don't write for the show. What?
So I thought I read that the snow show was already like greenlit, but now I'm seeing that it's not.
Yeah, no one knows if it's
Yeah.
actually going to happen.
I think people just, since there was talk of it, people just said it was greenlit
Right.
without having any kind of backup, because HBO said it has never been greenlit. It's been introduced as an idea,
Right.
but it never went past that.
Yeah, but from Digital Spy, it just says nowhere near to getting the green light.
Yeah.
That was
They,
about a month ago.
I feel like they realized this might have nowhere to go.
Someone jumped the gun.
Yeah,
I think it got pitched, and then it leaked that it got pitched.
Yes.
And what I was thinking they might do though was kind of like do like a journey show with Arya, exploring Easteros.
I mean, that would be kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, you could see some cool locations, you know.
Yep.
What's left of Valyria, maybe, and Ashai.
Yep.
But still, that you should have winter.
Yeah. Definitely winter.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so after the Battle of Winterfell, everybody's partying, but Dany is just sitting alone, all isolated, looking pissed with her Starbucks. Did you say Starbucks? And in the next episode, she flies to King's Landing. But then Euron and the Iron Fleet snipe Rhaegal out of the sky with those scorpion things. What? How did Dany not know about the Iron Fleet being there? Well, Dany kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces, but they certainly haven't forgotten her. She forgot? She forgot, you know, a lot of stuff on her mind. I mean, okay, and does she blow up the ships with her dragon? Oh no, I mean a dragon is no match for a bunch of scorpions. Oh, okay, yikes. And then Cersei ends up killing Missandei, you know, so Dany and Grey Worm are pissed. And does Dany remember who Cersei is? Of course she does. I don't know, I feel like I needed to ask. So then in the next episode, Dany just destroys all the scorpions in like a minute with her dragon. Wait, what? Yeah, I mean a bunch of scorpions are no match for a dragon. Oh.
I believe they thought that too while writing this. Like, oh yeah, no, she'd run away because the dragon just died. She'd be scared, but then the next episode, there's no way she'd be scared. They're just, you know, ships with scorpions. Destroy them. Who cares? Like,
this is exactly what I mean about, you know, things needing to be mapped out and written down. And I dare say spoken out loud.
Yes.
You know?
Like this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like this. Just getting someone to read out all the things, all the actions in particular, even if it's in a dot point format. But
they had a table reading. Like, don't you think someone would have been like, wow, this really sucks?
You know, it makes you think what was on the table that they could eat and drink and consume.
Right.
So,
little fun stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Mason.
So, they completely messed up the silence. Seeing them on, seeing Euron's ship really just reminded me of that, because they completely forgot that they're supposed to all be mute. Because in one scene, you see them all like running around and screaming and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I forget. There is one episode where they are mute, and then after that, they're not mute again. You're so right. Holy shit. God, that's terrible. All right, here we go.
Oh, but you just said the opposite. Oh, well, I kind of forgot about that. Well, okay then, I guess. So yeah, now Cersei doesn't have any scorpions, but she does have the Golden Company. Oh yeah, we built those guys up to be badasses, so what are they gonna do? Die immediately. Oh my god. And then Cersei and everybody surrender, but Dany is mad now, so she's not satisfied. Oh, so she goes to kill Cersei? Exactly, but she starts with, you know, everyone else. She does what? Yeah, she's mad now, so she burns women and children. Ew, that feels like quite the leap character-wise. Well, she's been killing people for years, you know, plus 2 of her dragons died, a couple of her friends, her nephew doesn't want to sleep with her. Yeah, but these are women and children. Listen, I want her to be the bad guy, and I don't really have time to flesh out the justification. Would you like some time? You can have it. No. Ah, dang it, okay. Anyway, so Grey Worm and the Unsullied start killing a bunch of people, and so do the Dothraki, who are now not dead. That's right, and Jaime's running around too, because after the Battle of Winterfell, he took off to see Cersei. Oh, was he going to kill her? Because that's a great way to wrap up his redemption arc. Oh no, he's going to be with her. Oh, he is. Yeah, he sleeps with Brienne, then leaves her crying and takes off to go be with his sister again. Oh, it kind of seemed like we had a whole redemption thing going for like 8 seasons. Oh yeah,
we're just gonna get rid of that. This guy hits every freaking point in less than 8 minutes. Unbelievable. What a great episode.
Undo all that in like 3 scenes. He's even gonna be like, I never cared about innocent people. Oh my god. And then he and Cersei both get taken out by falling bricks. I mean, okay. And at the end of the episode, Arya sees a white horse and rides off on it.
What's that?
You know, Cersei and Jaime gets killed in the room with the dragon skulls, right?
Yeah.
And that's directly below the throne room. And the throne room has a floor later on.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have, because it's collapsed on top of Jaime and Cersei, hasn't it?
A floor that can hold a dragon on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Even if
Which
it was like,
collapsed in the previous episode on top
oh my
two
god.
Well,
characters.
to be fair, only one corner fell in. So
Yeah, a
Yeah, it's
dragon.
like a nice little pile of rocks just
Yeah.
in one part of the room.
They were just in
Oh,
a really bad area.
That's
Yeah,
right,
all
because
they
if
had
they
to
would
do
have
was,
moved
like-
like 6 feet closer to the stairs, like where
Yeah,
Tyrion
or-
came in, they would have been fine.
Well,
Maybe they were trying to
what
take
they
a
should have done is
shower,
just
but they
should
forgot
have
to
just
turn on
walked
the
over to
water.
wall.
Wait a minute, say that again, Stig?
They should have just walked over to the wall because that's where the rocks are not going to fall.
Yeah, or
Press up
anywhere
against
else
the wall.
within 5 feet. Anywhere
Yeah,
else
the
within
middle
5
of the
feet.
room is bad.
Yeah, should have had that shit inspected.
At the end of the episode, Arya sees a white horse and rides off on it. Oh, cool. People are gonna have a lot of theories about that. Yeah, and so at the beginning of the next episode, she's walking around in the rubble and she sees... Wait, what happened to the horse? Oh, we'll see what happened with that was that... Did you forget about the horse? I forgot about the horse. She forgot about the horse. It's a very forgettable horse. Okay. So anyway, then Tyrion's like, I'm pretty sure I don't want to be the hand of the queen anymore. Because of the child murders? Because of the child murders, that's right. So he gets put in a cell. Yeah, I guess that's treason. Exactly. So now all the pressure's on Jon Snow, you know? What's he gonna do? Oh yeah, what has Jon Snow been up to this whole time? Oh, well, I had a bunch of cool lines for him, but then I was messing around with the search and replace on my computer, and somehow all his lines changed to "She's our queen." Really, all of his lines. Yeah, pretty much. I did go back and change a couple of them to "I don't want it," but other than that, yeah, pretty much. Well, okay then. So anyway, then Jon goes to see Dany in front of the Iron Throne, and he, you know, stabs and kills her. Oh my god, just like that? Yeah, I mean, there's no time to draw this out at all, but there could be. But there's not. So then Drogon gets all pissed and burns the Iron Throne, then flies away with Dany's corpse. Wait, did he understand that the power of the throne corrupted her, or did he just get mad at the one pointy thing in the room? I don't know. Fair enough. So anyway, then a couple of weeks later, Jon's in jail. So he just walked out of the room and confessed to the murder? It certainly seems that way. So Grey Worm really wants him and Tyrion to see justice for betraying Dany. Okay. So Tyrion and Grey Worm go in front of the Council of Surviving Characters, and Tyrion decides that Bran should be king. Wait, the guy that's on trial decides that? Well, I mean, the council...
Yeah.
They missed another thing. When Jaime killed the king, he didn't have to face a trial like that.
Nope.
Why does Jon?
And why are they worried about the Unsullied who are off ship, you know, off on ships, you know?
And another thing, Jon gets sent to the wall to join the Night's Watch again.
Yeah.
The White Walkers are gone.
Yeah, there's no way.
The Night Watch serves no purpose whatsoever anymore.
And they just thought the wall looked kind of
Maybe
bad.
for a
And
spin-off.
they need
why
to
they sent
rebuild
all
it.
the free folk back up there.
Yeah, there
So
you
they
go.
could have
Like,
somebody to fight.
well, you got to push them over on the other side.
and,
Build the wall.
Also,
you know?
the wall's done. A lot of it's collapsed.
No, because it's the powers in the foundation. You see, no one can. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's working again. They changed the batteries.
Also, Sam doesn't go back to the wall. He just becomes the Grand Maester.
Yeah, he's like Lady
Yeah, and
John.
he's actually he's still under oath basically.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
the
Well,
Night's Watch,
I don't even think he has a
which
link
means they
yet.
should behead him for treason.
Yep.
votes, but Tyrion really does run the show, yeah. And why does he think Bran should be king? Because who has a better story than Bran? I mean, arguably any other character. And shouldn't Jon become king since he's the rightful heir? No, he's gonna be sentenced to go hang out with his friends up north. So that whole Aegon Targaryen thing was basically for nothing? Pretty much. Same for that Arya faceless man thing too, actually. Oh, subverting expectations is tight. Well, I wouldn't say that it was about subverting expectations. It's more that how do I say this, forgot about it. Oh, right. And so Sansa becomes the queen of Winterfell and Arya takes off to explore. To explore what? Well, she wants to find out what's west of Westeros. Can't Bran just tell her that? Apparently not. Plus, he's gonna take off to go find Drogon. Oh, why? Because. Okay. And also now Bronn is the master of coin. Isn't he the worst possible person for that job? Well, he threatened Tyrion, but also he really likes coins. I guess that's qualifying. And so, yeah, that's about it. Well, it sounds like a compilation of moments that can benefit from being spread over 20 episodes instead of 6. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, but keep in mind that...
Yeah, it's just 6. I mean, he pretty much ends there, but we'll end on this too.
You guys aren't going to make us wait too much longer. What can you tell us, though, to hold us over till the premiere? Because it's been long enough.
I know. It's been long enough because we've just been making the best season ever.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
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 Ever, ever.
Ever, ever. Forever, ever.
What she said.
right? Yes.
Okay, so is that our tease? The best season
Ever.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Well, you know that you were missed.
None
and
of them.
Welcome back to the Emmys
None
tonight
of them
in
are feeling
grand
that.
style. Congratulations on winning Best Drama Series.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So happy to be with these guys and celebrate with.
Like, no. Where's the part where they ask her? Oh man, it's like hilarious. She just can't even keep it straight.
Yeah, you literally were about 3 seconds away from it.
Oh damn it. Okay, I just freaking son of a bitch.
Did you
All
see
right.
what the Stannis guy said about season 5?
No.
The actor said that the script read worse than a 70s porno.
Oh, that's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear Amelia get interviewed about whether or not she's going to make an appearance on the Snow series? And she's like, no. It's kind of like going to your high school reunion, but like for the wrong class.
I liked her. I would keep her around. All right, here, wait a minute. You're right. Here it is.
Final scenes yet, and are you happy with how things ended?
Yeah.
You didn't say yes. You didn't say yes.
Best season ever.
You know why she's saying that though? Because they have a non-disparagement thing.
Exactly. She doesn't even know
Yeah.
what to do. She doesn't even know what to do with herself.
They get that because they have to promote it. You can't have an actor going, "Yeah, it's shit." 'Cause
Yeah.
Remember when
The
Mark
world would
Hamill?
spin off its axis if they did.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill did the same thing. He was basically he wasn't
Oh, yeah.
saying directly that The Last Jedi was shit. He was asking questions. He said like, "Yeah, back when I played Luke as a Jedi in training, he had to spend years learning this and that, but Rey
Yeah.
learns it right away. So what do
Is
I
it-
know?"
That's
Isn't
why
it-
he called the character Jake, because anything
Yeah,
he
he's
was
the
saying, he
one
was saying
that-
against the character. Yeah, it's like, oh
Yeah.
no, this is leading up to like Jake Skywalker. This isn't Luke Skywalker. This is Jake.
Yeah.
He's a different character.
Brilliant. They must have paid him or threatened to sue him like a mofo.
Yeah, they have to
No,
sign
you know
that.
how they
so
got how they got him to change his mind and endorse it. They just said Trump agrees with you, and he went, "That's it. I love Star Wars now. It's the
I
best
love
ever."
Star Wars. Greatest ever.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I got to get up early for work tomorrow. Stig, thank you for staying up late. I know how late
Oh,
it
it's-
is for you.
Well, listening to the storm has calmed down, so it's
It's a little bit nicer. A little bit nicer.
yeah,
Storm of
it
Swords?
keeps you awake because the whole building's shaking and you have hail and stuff hitting the windows.
Damn, dude.
So
I have friends that live in Israel that have a similar thing.
Shit. You do. He is Jewish, so we're gonna allow that. YouTube. Rumble's laughing. YouTube's scared.
a joke is a joke.
Yeah, exactly. We were discussing that
It's,
before.
Yeah, just ask Tina.
It's the intent behind it, isn't it?
Yes. the
Yeah,
intent.
tell him the height joke again.
Okay, so we're gonna get going. Hey Nick, thanks for joining us today. You can
You're
join
very
us
welcome.
anytime.
Thanks so
Any
much.
Monday, you're welcome, my friend. Mason, thank you guys. Let's get Mason to 100 subs. Tina, let's build up hers. Grant doesn't need it, that piece of shit.
I just hit
and
105,000.
If you
I
can,
got another video that went viral.
yeah, I'm not talking to you. If you can, come back right after this and comment. Even if you just say, hey, I'm leaving a comment, because that's the algorithm on YouTube. It catches comments. So comment away. I know a couple of you will do multiple comments because you're all awesome. But I have to go to bed. So I love you all. Hope you have a great night. Peace out. Thanks, panel.